now.
It's probably because I said the F word.
I don't know. We're back on, and I don't know what just happened.
So I wonder if we lost it.
It disconnected from the server and came back up, so I don't know. Yeah, see if we can't check on that, see what happened.
Yeah, I'm working my way through it.
But, yeah, so, I mean, he's had this chest infection for quite some time, and that's with lupus and everything, it's been keeping his immune system all screwed up, so.
Now, lupus, that's when you have too many white blood cells?
I really don't know. I know it's an autoimmune system disease.
Yeah, okay.
And it affects your immune system.
If you have lupus, you can have AIDS, and it'll keep you the same. It levels you out. It's like the only cure is to get another disease.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lupus. It's a systematic lupus, and whatever, is a disease that leads to long-term chronic inflammation of everything.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's everything. The Mayo Clinic. What did they do? Treat everything with mayonnaise?
We're back on now. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
But I can't rewind to see if we
right.
lost
No,
it.
I know.
I wasn't plugged in.
I don't know what happened. I'm not sure how that happened. Let me see.
You guys should try it one
was a
time.
glitch.
Listening to the conversation, like exactly 10 seconds ago and now.
Yeah.
That's why I used to be like, every now and then. Like, I just can't take it.
It might not have. I don't know. I'm not too sure what it did. We might have a nice uninterrupted stream, so.
I just heard myself go,
10 minutes later. Yeah.
Dude, it's funny. You gotta pull
I
that
was
clip
doing
later.
it yesterday when I was playing the music. I was doing it yesterday. Had it playing in my ear on the phone and then had it playing over here, so. But, all right, so let me get over here and look at some of the news that I have. Tony, you got any news to go over?
I got, in Colorado where they got all that legalization, they're missing their tax money.
They're missing tax money.
They're missing their marijuana tax money.
How much?
$21.5 million.
$21.5 million.
The banks don't want it because, see, federally it's still illegal.
Right.
Because they haven't changed that part.
Well, I thought they just changed all of that to where the banks were allowing them to, and in credit cards
They were
allowing
supposed to be, but the tax money,
there's just no place to put it.
There's no place to put it. So there's $21.5 million in hot taxes.
So the county wants it, the state wants it, the federal government wants it, but the banks won't take it because it's illegal federally.
Right.
They can't take drug money.
Right. That's exactly it. Because if they're found with drug money, then
they can lose all their insurance. They're at the FDIC shit and all
and you
that,
can't be like, well, I'm selling a baggie, not the green stuff in it.
Right. Yeah.
Because you got to stay legal with your county and your city and your
Isn't that
state.
crazy?
Yeah, I think it's all crazy.
And they also
Everybody's
say
like, we
that
should do it for taxes.
even though that it's legal, the recreational pot is legal.
Right.
There's still only 60% of the recreational people are using
legal pot.
Legal channels.
Yeah, because it's cheaper to go on the street and buy it rather than going to a dispensary.
At this point, you can grow your own.
Yeah, but from what I understand, you can go into a dispensary and spend, we'll say, I really don't know prices, but like $150 on a quarter of buds. When you can still go to your normal drug dealer on the corner and spend what you're supposed to be spending for a quarter of good buds, which is anywhere from $80 to $100. Not that I know from personal experience, but I just know.
Right.
What?
When you said, I just know, it was really weird.
I just know.
There it is.
Yes, it's my gremlin voice.
Yeah, there was a gremlin in my ear.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't intended. My voice broke, so I just roll with it. That's screwed up, man. That's really screwed. How much? $21 million.
$21.5 million.
And now they're going to get in trouble for not paying their taxes, probably.
Probably,
so
yeah.
So literally, they're going to have to bring it to the county in bags of cash.
Yeah, I would. Here you go.
I'm not losing that receipt.
Yep. I want a receipt for this thing, too. Right?
With a carbon copy.
Enough said, right? And I'm going to follow you into the safe when you put it there. Now lock the door. I want a key.
Videotape it.
Yeah, I would, wouldn't you?
That little stamp, the embossing stamp.
Yeah,
What's that called? patent
with the wax, like they used to use in the old days. Put the wax on the envelope and then stamp it with your little seal of approval.
Everything I can think of.
Enough said.
But I got to give up $21 million.
Telling you, if I got to give somebody $21 million and there's no government agency to, well, never mind. Just gonna take it anyway.
I'm against all this taxing it. No, I'm not against taxing. I think we should tax everything.
Yeah, well,
No, everything. Period. That's like in a store. Or whatever.
I think that's the legitimacy of it right there, Joseph. Is the taxation of it? I think that's what. If everybody just looked at it like that,
I'm jealous because
I'm jealous too.
No, well, besides, I'd like to smoke recreationally.
Yes.
Not even. I want to be able to smoke recreationally. I just think that should be a freedom, a right. But then there's like I'm having a bad day. I want to smoke.
Yes.
Like a stress or anxiety releaser.
Yep.
And then I'm hearing about all these other medical reasons, and there's plenty of reasons for it to be legal.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even get into the hemp thing, but like
stress alone, Joe.
Yeah.
Honestly, stress alone. Think about it. All them times that you ever been stressed out, if you would have smoked a joint,
you'd be well. You know.
You know what I mean? Yeah. The stress ain't going to go away, but it definitely alleviates some of it. You know.
Right.
Okay, so get rid of all that. I'm just jealous about the money.
Yeah.
Colorado has an extra $200 million this year.
Mm-hmm.
We got potholes.
Well, yeah, exactly. What would that do for this county, the next county over, and so on and so forth? The tax money, you know what I'm saying? I read a study one time that we can have the national deficit paid off in less than a year if we legalized it nationwide and taxed it. The national deficit's in like the 100 billions, isn't it?
It's ridiculous.
It's up there,
it's
right?
way up
yeah, I mean, we could have it paid off and stop borrowing money from China.
The national deficit is that.
Oh, yeah, right.
We can't do it, though, because after a trillion, I don't even know what to say anymore.
I know. We'll just get one of them timers like you had till the show started, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd end up freaking out, because there's one knob on that timer that's just spinning out of control, going higher and higher and higher by the second.
At least it's an electronic one. You won't actually blow up your mecanism.
Yeah, enough said. You'd have to have a hell of a lube system on that last knob, man. Be like, somebody catch a fish?
I think we're going to need synthetic.
Yeah. Speaking of synthetic, everybody, well, in the news anyway, the media outlets are calling spice synthetic marijuana. It is not
stop that.
Synthetic marijuana. It has nothing to do with it. It's freaking man-made garbage.
Yeah, it's all chemical.
Yep.
Okay, here's the problem.
And it is dangerous and highly addictive.
With spice. It's just another kind of tobacco. The problem is because it's not regulated.
It's how they process it, right?
They spray it with stuff.
Yes.
They can spray it with whatever they want. They can spray it with Raid. Whatever gets you high.
Which the Shvatas used to do that where I was growing up.
Yeah, I had people that did that to our weed.
Yeah, which I never understood.
It tastes nasty, too.
Yeah, somebody explained it to me that it
leaves an oily taste. And
yeah.
Yep. He knows. He's like, at least.
Oh, when I was a kid, a friend of mine,
you go up to the corner, buy a nickel bag. Yeah, definitely. Yep. Yeah, I don't know why they do it.
Well, because it gets people high.
It does.
The weed could be garbage. It could be absolute garbage.
Right, but the chemical
you'll still get
enhances
high.
it. I see.
And that's the problem. They're basically selling you, when you buy the spice, they're selling you tobacco
bag full of chemicals.
with chemicals sprayed all over.
And it's not tobacco. They really do use a plant.
Yeah,
but Artemis or something like that. But it's not a big deal. Like
the plant alone isn't a big deal.
The word marijuana came from a Mexican tobacco. It wasn't even weed like we know it. Not cannabis. It was a form of tobacco.
Right.
It's not even tobacco.
I heard that before. Hemp is hemp. Cannabis came from hemp. The word marijuana was something.
Whatever they smoke down there.
Weird.
People smoke things
I
all
read something like
over
that.
the world.
I will go.
All different plants.
Yeah.
So the best I can call them is smokables. There was a smokable in Mexico that was called like manahana or something like that.
Benihana?
So whatever, translating it over to English.
Yeah.
Well, and they confused it. They confused it because the plant they were smoking down there may have caused people to rape each other. I don't know because I never smoked that one.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Right.
But
I know that spice is bad news, bro.
It is because of the stuff they spray it with.
Yeah.
Because you don't know from one batch to the next, and everybody The junkies know which one gets them the highest, and I'm
And
not
they,
talking
they
about. I'm
spray
not
it
talking
with
about
more
weed
than
high.
one chemical. It's mixed because
Yeah.
I know it's got
I'm not talking
it's
about
got
relaxing, meditative.
mineral spirits. They've
Yep.
got mineral spirits, rubbing alcohol, and something else
It's
they spray.
way
on.
worse than that.
Which
it's-
mineral spirits alone, I mean, if you've ever used mineral spirits, that is some evasive shit, man. Yeah, it's got oil in it and it's used to preserve things, but think about it. It's used to preserve things.
Hey, speaking
That
of oil,
paint thinner.
Yeah.
do you know why they call canola oil canola oil? Like if you think about it, there's vegetable oil. You know where
It
that
comes
came
from
from?
a canola seed.
Yeah. See, there's no cannolis. Cannolis don't come from seeds.
Well,
Right.
it's not cannoli, it's canola.
No. Yeah, and there's-
Cannoli is an Italian word for pastry.
All right. Well, what other? There's corn oil that comes from corn.
Corn oil.
Olive oil comes from olives. But what's a canola? He says a canola seed. There's no such plant as a canola. So I looked it up. It comes from the rape plant.
Rape.
Right, you said it right. RAPE.
No
It
shit.
comes from the rape seed.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've heard that expression when I was looking into the
Well, it used-
biodiesel.
It used to be called rape oil,
Yeah, it's a rape seed, yep.
but now canola comes from Canada. That's the can part, and ola means oil. So they changed it to canola. So any oil that comes from Canada is canola.
Ah, see?
Tidbit.
See?
All right.
What's that got to do with drugs and I don't
Doesn't
know.
matter.
Yeah.
It's brain food.
Yeah.
Brain
I got
food,
edibles.
folks. He's got edibles. Edibles here. We got edibles here. Brain food. Meat glue. Yo, do you guys remember the Night of the Living Dead and the Return of the Living
I
Dead?
was thinking zombies too, and we said brain food and edibles.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the Night of the Living Dead. At the
Well, that's
drive-in.
where I get that saying. Meat. 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 The zombies walked around going, meat. You don't remember that?
No,
Oh, God, you got to watch it. Me and Mike the
I'll
mechanic.
have to watch it
Yeah,
again.
we've watched it so many times that's where it came from. Meat. I know if he's listening, he's probably laughing his ass off. I actually asked him to come on the show this week, so he's going to see what his week looks like and see if he can make it in.
I still haven't managed to post the
That
whole.
first show? Or the first segment we did there?
Yeah, the
That-
first
that
part.
first
with,
article.
the
thing,
guy was
yeah.
like the test dummy
Yeah.
or the reviewer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That was the
The
reason.
junkie.
reviewer. The junkie.
I don't know. It's awesome.
Whatever you want to call it. They all sound about right.
Yeah. Hashtag.
Yeah, hashtag dirtbag. Hey, look at that one. We're going to start a new trend.
Let's get all the hashtags that rhyme. Tag
Right.
them to us.
Hashtag dirtbag. Oh, man. Yeah, sure. Got a little booing action going on.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Boo.
It was a button to push. No, I did it.
Oh, I thought like people were booing us.
Oh no, he's.
Oh, I
booing
hear
us.
it. It's awesome.
He's booing us. See, I don't hear it.
You could. You just got to get a headphone, plug it in the back.
Just another wire to yank my head a different way.
Yeah, this needs to be longer for sure.
Yeah. So,
Well, let me
but
just splice that in there for you. The longer wire.
Yeah, I don't care.
I know how you can make it longer. Just sit closer. Don't give me that look, dude. Don't even.
I'm not even looking your way.
Don't look this way. Don't look this way.
Yeah, don't even.
I'm not sitting closer.
even go
I'm not
there.
looking that way. Nothing's getting longer. At least not in my
Nothing better
pants.
be getting longer while it's three dudes in this studio. If your table starts lifting up and angling, I'm going to get the ice bucket.
We had to
on
move
your
the
ass.
spikes, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
What was that about? Oh, Tia's nipples.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right. Yeah. What? Wait a minute. Now you got me lost. What did Tia's nipples have to do with the spikes? Was she getting him caught on the spikes underneath the table?
No, she was sitting across from me.
Oh, that's right.
And then I
Yes.
was getting a chub.
Yeah.
then-
That's right. The one host Tia that I told you about, she wore a tank top one day with no bra on. So we were like fixated on her nipples the whole show. We just kept on
You made sure it was nice and cool in here.
Oh, yes, I did, man. I turned the AC way down, and we made it nice and chilly in here. And throughout the whole show, I'm going, I love nipples. And she's just doing this, covering herself up, and this and that. Finally, I was getting ready. I was just going to say, come on, just whip them out. Let them hang loose. Today's Whip It Out Wednesday. She wouldn't have went for it anyway. She got so embarrassed. She ain't been back since, which sucks because it was pretty cool having her here.
Imagine she's listening to it now.
I doubt it. She's in a coma probably somewhere.
I can get her to come back, but we need to be paid, is all. Some form.
Yeah.
She'll go for the money.
Well, of course. That's... Never mind.
Yeah.
Damn women.
Your buddy, money, I would take it too.
Yeah, enough said. Well, hence the whole thing about what we talked about and all of that. So, yeah. There'll be no money for you.
Are you okay?
No, I'm constipated and my belly hurts. But I was trying to figure out if your mic was on because I couldn't
it's
hear you in
on.
my ear.
You're not talking close enough to it.
Yeah, I know.
So, what do we have in the Nehuis?
You keep asking us for it. You got a computer. You got two
I
of
got a
them.
bunch of news up. I really do. I just want to see what you guys got because I'm getting tired of reading the news every damn day.
I get Never mind.
That doesn't help me, man. All right, well then, fine. ISIS. Remember the first day I said, what is ISIS? What is all of that? What is this? ISIS.
And ISIL.
ISIL, yeah.
They were confused in the beginning.
We were all screwed up with this whole ISIS and ISIL thing.
Yeah, because I saw that too. They were talking about ISIS on one thing, and then I saw another.
And then it's
article on
ISIL.
ISIL.
Yeah, well, I was like...
What is that?
And then just IS, Islamic State.
Yeah. Did they even know? I don't think they know.
Well, as they take over regions,
Yeah.
they're
They
figuring-
just...
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It'll be... What did you... What the United States is stand? Is that what you said?
No, that's a whole different region of the world.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. They're here.
Yeah, I hear they're right on the Mexican border. They're actually like in a city on the Mexican border.
Are they?
Yeah, well, I should say the United States border.
Right, yeah.
They're in Mexico.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got to rely on freaking Border Patrol to stop them from coming across. They can't even stop the freaking refugees coming across. They're going to stop a militant group?
The Border Patrol. Well, I don't know about the Border Patrol. I don't know which one's which.
They're just as armed.
The government one is
US.
doing a lousy job. But all like the militant groups that head to the border and do their own patrols,
There's a lot of
lock down their.
landowners. Yeah, I saw a thing in Texas. There's a
very
lot of
long.
landowners that live right on the Rio Grande that say they're not getting deported. Yeah, we'll deport them. We're going to deport a dead body because you come across and get on my land, I'll kill you.
I mean, if you're a farmer, you need fertilizer.
Enough said, right? It's a good idea. I just don't know about...
I am not a fan of people hopping through my window.
No.
I'm not a fan of it. You come to the door.
I
and
am a
knock.
fan of blowing somebody's head in half that hops through my window, that's for sure.
Well, you know what? If somebody jumped through my window and they were running from something, I might feel a little bit different.
Oops, you just ran into the wrong house because now your head looks like a canoe.
Yeah, and I wouldn't feel bad if that happened.
Nope.
But I can see running from somebody, like on the street. I'm unarmed and I'm running, and I'll go cut through
Yeah,
somebody's
but
yard.
that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about,
Right.
like, here's your land.
I'm just trying to find
Think about
another
it.
point of view, is all.
Yeah, no, I know what
Because
you're saying.
I
But,
clearly don't want anybody jumping through my window. But I was trying to think. what
your
would be-
grandfather, and you come from a country, well, not a country, but you come from a place, your family comes from a place where there's a lot of history, Hawaii, right?
Oh, that's just a piece of the family.
Right, but I'm saying, I mean, there's a lot of
grandmother.
It comes with a lot of history. So think about an invading force coming through Grandma's backyard one day. What's Grandma going to do if she's got a 357 sitting next to her? She's not going to make them a roast
I
pig.
don't think anybody invaded Hawaii.
Well, but I'm using that as an example. You know what I mean?
No, I just don't think it would have went over well.
No.
I don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the history.
Right, but I mean,
Oh, and let's don't forget Pearl Harbor. But
yeah, right. And the Battle of Midway, which
Yeah.
was another Pacific island, but yeah, they didn't get very far. But I'm just saying, I mean, there are too many people that are too damn proud of their country, their history, and who they are to let anybody pass that they know doesn't belong here. You know, that Joe Farmer out in Texas or out in New Mexico or Arizona whose land backs up to the border, he ain't gonna show no mercy for somebody coming across his land. He's gonna kill him. I would.
I've been shot going through somebody's yard.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a yard. It's like a farmland.
Yeah.
And I'm just hopping through because it's so much easier to cut through this guy's property and this guy's property than to go all the way around the streets.
Yep.
Or the roads, the dirt roads.
Yeah, well, the kids do it over here, too. They come through the lot,
Yeah,
and
just
go through
cut
the
through
retainage
property.
ditch. And honestly, I don't mind. I'd rather it be through my property than one of those maniacs.
I'm the same
that-
way.
yeah.
I've had a house that was like a cut-through house.
Mm-hmm.
And the people before me were jerks to everybody that walked through. And like I
Why?
didn't
I
care.
don't get it. Yeah.
Well, I get it because, I got your sliding glass doors open. You walk around your house naked. There's people walking through your house or your backyard.
Well, don't look. That's, I'll put up signs, listen, I'm going to be a decent exposure. If you don't want to see anything you don't want to see, then don't look over there. First thing you're going to do is go over where?
But see, I didn't care. I was to the point where I was about to get like sodas and chips and
just sell them to
Yeah,
passerbys, right?
'cause I
Just
sit on my-
careful the county to shut you down. That kid with the
yeah.
lemonade stand?
I remember that. Yeah. They just
yeah, he wasn't paying his taxes.
Yeah, and he was donating the money.
He
Give me a
didn't-
break.
He didn't get a permit.
Right. Is that ridiculous?
yeah, because he was donating. I can't remember what the cause was, but it was a good cause.
Yeah. And he raised like 60% of the money that he set out to raise, too.
Before he got shut down.
Before the county came
Shut
in.
it down.
And it was St. Pete, of course. It was St. Pete, same ones that came in and tore up the tent cities after, not providing a proper facility for the homeless to go to. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
just politics, baby.
Down
politics.
in St. Pete and Tampa, there's more than just the county police and the city police. There's
You got
there's
county,
private
city,
police.
state. You got the, private, whatever the hell they are. I heard that, too.
there's private police down there.
Yeah. That's
I don't
not
know
the
what
first
that
I've
is.
heard it.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But
They're there.
Any private police, I would have thought were just like security for maybe a neighborhood hired them.
Right. Yeah. Rent a cop.
I don't know.
Unless the
Call it what
city
you
has
want.
hired a private
Well,
division of police.
like
That's possible,
That's what Ferguson did. That's what Missouri does. They literally have in their laws. Like when we were all covering that, I had the laws in front of me, and they can call in militias or mercenaries.
Yeah, mercenaries, militia,
Yeah,
whatever.
They can
Right.
pay people. We need troops.
I see gray hair.
I told you I got gray.
I never noticed it, though. He's going to look like Sean Connery. Listen, people say I look like Richard Gere. If you think I look like Richard Gere, you should go to the eye doctor and then straight from there go to the mental health center and have yourself checked out, because I look as far from Richard Gere as my dog's ass looks like Julia Roberts, okay? I've had so many people
Alrighty
tell me
then.
that. Yeah, I've had so many people, oh, you look like Richard Gere. I turn around and look like, are you talking to me or are you seeing shit? You on hallucinogens? Michelle says, yeah, you do. When your hair's a certain... Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah,
Don't
I've been
say
told I look like other people too. And
It's like, what are you smoking?
almost every city I go to, somebody tells me, "You look like this guy that lives up the street. You got a brother?"
Yeah.
Nope.
No, I didn't.
That's creepy.
Yeah, because I'm like, no, I don't know anybody around. I've never
What?
been here before.
What you just
so-
sent me.
Oh, that's what Daisy sent me. She said it was before Columbus. And I just added you to the conversation. and then
Oh,
replied
yeah,
back
I
to
was
her.
lost. Yeah,
Yeah, my bad.
I'm like, blah, blah, what's before Columbus? That's all I got. I'm like, huh? Talk about a message fragment, buddy.
His face.
Yeah, right?
I'm
Now,
like,
see,
what is he going through over there? Who's calling him?
Joseph thought I was having troubles over here. Well, I am.
Sorry,
So-
what were you saying?
It's Let's Lose Lou Day.
Lost.
It doesn't take much, guys. Let me tell you something. Just one quick distraction. I'm out there, gone. Don't know what the hell's going on. If it wasn't for the fact that I have my fingers on the controller, I wouldn't know what freaking day it was. If it wasn't for the fact there's not a date or a day or a time down there, I wouldn't know nothing. It's like when I was driving a tractor trailer. If I didn't have to write down in my logbook every day what day and date it was, I'd have no freaking clue, because your days go
it's
into
the
your
3rd,
nights.
and it's Wednesday.
Yeah, it's yeah.
I know that because there's a computer in front of me.
Yeah, that's the only reason I know that. All right, I have, let's see, another ISIS beheading video is real, U.S. says. Executioner says Obama is to blame. Video showing U.S. journalist Stephen Sotloff? Man, somebody...
Steve.
Yeah, Stephen. Being beheaded by a terror group, ISIS, and it is authentic, officials said. So... here it is again. Another American got beheaded by this militant group, and our president has done nothing about it. Way to go, Obama.
Obama.
Yeah. You know what Obama stands for, right?
No.
Another
Change?
big-ass mistake, America.
Sounds about right to me.
Yep.
I haven't seen anything really that he's done. That
The only thing he did was make the black people happy that we have a black president. I'm sorry to say that. That probably sounds extremely racist. I don't mean to be, but that's the only thing it's done.
I'm not racist in any way, but I don't.
I am. I freaking hate everybody. So, it doesn't matter what color, race, creed. I don't like you anyway. Obama, the only thing he's done for this country is make black people happy that we had a black president. Even the black people are not happy with what he's done.
Yeah, they're not happy now.
Yeah.
Well, because he had an opportunity to unite everybody and make this world a better place.
He actually divided us.
Yeah. He seriously, there was a moment. He could have said to all the black people, mow your neighbor's yard.
And they would have.
Yeah.
Right.
Go over to your neighbor, meet that old lady, and
love
take care
thy
of her.
neighbor, and they truly would have.
Yeah.
Everybody would have. Everybody would have listened to him. White, black, green, yellow, orange, I don't care.
Yes.
Everybody would have listened to him.
The moment that he was elected, I never felt more connected to my government.
I felt good about having a black president. I figured, you know what, this is actually going to do something for our country.
We're going to change this. I'm not going to let this.
That video, we're going to do. I'm not going to, and I'm going to, and I'm going to, and I'm going to, and I'm going to, and we're going to, and we're going to, and what'd you do? Nothing.
And then he just left us.
Yeah.
Radio silence.
Feel good about
played golf.
To tell you the truth, I didn't feel good about it before he was elected.
I honestly didn't think he was going to make it through the inaugural ceremony. I thought you were going to hear and watch him drop.
Yes, I thought he was going to be killed too.
So did I.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, but then
I thought it would never last.
Michelle,
somebody's going to do it because somebody's going to be too...
Right. Michelle made a good point. They probably know this, that there's that one guy sitting there with his rifle in hand, cleaning it, so the security's probably crazy and all of that shit, you know what I mean? So I'm sure that one lunatic, that one white supremacist was out there going, I'm going to get that boy. I tell you, I'm not going to let him get far. So, yeah. But it didn't happen, and I was very surprised. I really didn't think he would make it through that ceremony. I didn't, but...
I just wish he would have spoke to us. I wish they would engage with us. Like, open up a YouTube channel. Give us a little message of the day.
Yeah.
Answer the first 5 questions, and then go do all the rest of your day.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
This message you're saying 45 minutes breaks it down about right?
No, I'm saying it's been 45 minutes, and we need to get into that.
It's been 27 minutes.
What?
Why? How the hell is that?
No, man. No. Something wrong with your camera or something. I mean, clock. Something wrong with my brain and your camera.
That's weird. What time did we come on the air?
7.
What time did you have that glitch?
Yeah, I know. That might be it.
That might be where it reset the time.
Yeah. 27 minutes ago, that's why. Yep. Which is actually 51 minutes ago. Strange. I got to figure out why that did that. That's the second day it's done that, and I think that just has to do with the internet connection. Too many people on the internet connection.
I was wondering that earlier.
Yeah. I have
your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Was like, "What's the code?"
And
I'm looking at her tablet, this other tablet, the laptop, and I'm thinking, a lot of these things aren't even on or open, but
I
they
have
still
the
might
highest.
be pulling.
I have the highest, the 90 MEPs and minutes per second or whatever you call
and then
it.
your girlfriend was on once. That's 4
but
things.
They all use the other one.
That's 4 in the living room.
Yeah.
Well,
I have the 2 Wi-Fis here. They all use that one. Whenever a guest comes, I give them this one because it's the only password I remember. But we're all directly wired in, so that shouldn't make a difference.
If it's that way.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the cat trying to come in. I don't know if they have anything higher than what we got. Handsome. Come here.
Just call them in further.
Well, I gotta call them in further so I can pick them up and get them out. Take it so I can.
I'll take the radio.
Yeah,
I'll
be right back. I
and I
gotta
will
get him out of
do
here.
absolutely nothing with it, as usual.
Nothing.
Yesterday was funny.
What?
When we all walked out, you were like, "Okay."
Always, he always gets me with that. Especially like this, I kind of seen coming, so it wasn't so bad. But sometimes he'll just leave. I'll be doing some paperwork or research, and say him and you were talking, and then all of a sudden he'll get up and leave and say, "Take it away, guys."
I'll be all random too. It's just like so. Blah, 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 blah,
I'm
blah, blah, blah,
like, take
blah.
what away? I don't even know what we were talking about.
Right. Joseph will come up and be like, no dead air, blah, blah. So in other news, like a deer in the headlights shit.
It is. It's bad.
He left me all alone.
Hey, Ma, he left me. I'm scared.
I'm not good at talking to myself. You know.
That is why when the show first came on, it wouldn't have came on if it was only me in here. I wouldn't have done it because I can talk to myself just fine. But it only lasts for a little while. And then when you start answering yourself back, that's when things get a little scary.
That's not what I said.
Yeah, right? Who are you talking to? I'll kick your ass, buddy. Listen, I know somebody who used to do that. We'd be driving down the road, and I'd look out of the corner of my eye, and they'd be talking to themselves. But what's really bad is, like, they'd tell themselves a joke and laugh about it. And be like... all this weird shit, man. Yeah, it was strange. It was weird. It was very, very disturbing.
I got a joke.
Okay. Is it the same one you told me?
Okay, let me go back. I'll find that.
Yeah, get that one. That one was good. That was a good one. We missed it yesterday. He had a bunch of jokes that were hilarious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I did 4 hours of obituaries. We might as well let him tell a
Might as well
joke.
do a joke here.
So
Yeah.
a husband says to his wife,
Listen.
Our son got his brains from me." The wife replied, "I think he did because I still got mine."
Okay.
What's the other one?
I don't know. I don't have them in order.
The 3 fit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get that. One
Okay.
second.
Yeah, that one was good too. What's the difference between? Yeah.
Wait, where the hell is it?
I don't know. You're the one who had them.
Well, I didn't know I was going to be pulling them up all on the fly.
Talk about on the spot.
Yep. So
Where's
I
all my
lost that.
chatters this morning? Nobody's chatting with us this morning, huh? I told Marcy to come on in. I don't know if she was going to come in today, but she's more than welcome. We should try this phone service out, this new phone system. I'll do it off the air and see how it works. See, on Bay News 9, we've got exclusive poll.
What's the difference between 3 penises and a joke? Your wife can't take a joke.
I love it. I love that one. That is so good.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are sitting going, wow, he's right. She can take a joke, but she can sure handle Bob, Billy, and Joe.
Was that one person?
Yeah. That's Bob, Billy, Joe. That's Brooksville Bob's illegitimate cousin. So Governor Scott emerges from primary with 6-point lead over Chris. Woohoo! Either way, we're screwed.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. I would be a lot happier with Chris than I would
You think so?
with.
I don't like either one of them.
I don't like Scott at all.
No, I don't like either one of them. I don't know why. It's only been them for as long as I can remember.
Well, it was Chris for a long time,
Yeah?
and I thought he was okay. He wasn't spectacular, but I mean, at least I thought he was, at least doing something. I mean, with the Spanish, he's got the Spanish translator doing his whole
Yeah.
speech right at the same time. He's doing the sign language in both English and Spanish.
Right, yep.
So I mean, he was at least getting his whatever he was talking about. He was talking to everyone.
Everyone. Right.
Who?
Not just Chris
Chris.
when he was governor.
Because he speaks Spanish?
Well, no,
His
he had a
wife is
Hispanic
Spanish.
translator. Yeah, he was translating in Spanish. His wife is Spanish, so he was appealing to a broader audience than Scott was.
Scott doesn't appeal to anyone.
No.
He just does
Yeah.
what he wants, even though that's not what he said he
He's,
was going to do in the beginning.
He's leading 6 points ahead, 43.7 to 37.6.
There's some other guy with like 2%.
And then the don't knows is 8.8 as far as the latest.
And
poll.
now Christus, he kind of doomed himself a little bit by changing.
I wonder what would happen if everybody
from
just went and hit
Democratic
other.
to Republican, yeah.
From Republican
to Democrat. What's that, Joe?
Democrat.
I wonder what would happen if whenever we went to go vote, if everybody just like wrote other.
Yeah, right. Or voted for that.
Vote for me.
Enough said. I'll go for it.
Huh?
What I looked into it. What does it take to run for president? Can somebody like me run for president?
You have to be 34.
You have to be 34. That's it.
And you have to have a birth certificate.
What about felons and all of that? It doesn't matter about your criminal history. I mean, they're all crooks and criminals anyway. But
I don't know. I don't think you can be a felon though. I don't think felon. So. Yeah, I think it's like everything else. A felony omits you from being president.
From any other government position, maybe, but not the president. The people vote you in, and you can be a felon. For instance, let's just say that marijuana is illegal.
Google it.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I've been arrested 30 times for marijuana.
Hypothetically speaking.
Right.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
I know personally he hasn't been arrested 30 times for marijuana. He might have been arrested 30 times for something else.
Anyhow,
marijuana.
My point is, then what happens if the world changes and they want marijuana legal? And this is the best guy to be the president. You got to be able to get him in.
I'm trying to Google.
There's got to be a loophole for that. There's got to.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's been a while since I read up on it because I did read about what the qualifications are for being president or to be able to run.
All I did was I searched, and the top answers coming up from Answers.com on Google. Can you be a felon and run for president? And I'm checking that out right now. Let's see. As soon as it comes up,
there was a guy in Zephyr Hills last.
The dude with the beard and all of that?
I think so, yeah. He was a chiropractor or a doctor or something of some kind.
Yeah. All right, so this
and
is what it says.
He was running independent.
Yeah, I remember. Yep. It says the only requirements for presidency in the U.S. is being a natural-born citizen of the U.S.
The birth certificate.
Yep. At least 35 years of age.
I was off by a year, apparently.
Being a permanent resident for at least 4 years. And
born here and live here.
Yep. And of the U.S. Constitution gives the Senate the power to disqualify persons who have been impeached from holding federal office. However, there is no mention of the simple state of being a felon disqualifying a person. So you can be, but the Senate can say, no.
No. You'd have to be impeached. So a former impeached president can't run again. That's what the Senate does. That's the way I took it when you were reading it.
Let me read that again because I misunderstand it.
Oh, I'm hearing it again right now. Believe me.
Well, then explain it to me.
Well, go ahead, read it again.
No, if you're hearing it, I can read it again.
Because you said, when you said impeached, was it? I think it said impeached for any federal office.
I'll read it again. It says you must be here at least 14 years. The U.S. for at least 14 years. Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution gives the Senate the power to disqualify persons who have been impeached from holding federal office. Okay, so
it's any federal office.
Right, that makes a lot more sense. However, there is no mention of the simple state of being a felon disqualifying a person from being an elected president. Apparently, there are examples of felons that have run for president. One I found quickly was London LaRoche. Whatever.
Yeah, I think it's LaRoche.
Article 2, Section 1 outlines the requirements for president. They are as above. Okay, so there is no prohibition from a felon running for holding an office. So, yeah, someone like me can run for president. With a name like Kennedy, why wouldn't I make it? The only thing I keep going back to what my father used to tell me. There's 2 reasons why I would never run for presidency, Lou. I go, well, what is that, Dad? Number 1, I can't outrun a bullet. And in that instant, number 2 falls into play. I'm not bulletproof. And I didn't get it at first, but then after seeing all the Kennedy stuff, it makes a lot of sense because Kennedys don't have very good luck when it comes to being in office.
Yeah, and because I looked it up a couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah.
I was searching that.
Mm-hmm.
what it takes to what qualifies you to be able to be president. And
Right.
But just the paperwork alone, I mean, you've got to pay a certain amount of money or have a certain amount of money.
Something like that.
Campaign money, you have to show a certain amount of money. You have to show.
Or you can get fundraisers. You could start fundraisers to get all that money. I mean, think about it. You put a Kennedy in presidency again. That would bring in some money.
Right.
Is that mine? I thought we weren't smoking in here anymore.
Yeah, but I was like passing the torch,
Is it my turn to go out then?
I don't know. I needed to get a couple puffs in at least.
Smoke them if you got them, guys. Screw it.
I don't have any ashtray.
I'll get one, and I'm going to put the exhaust fan on. So take over for a quick sec, guys.
Okay.
Oh well,
Your teeth are so big when you sneeze, you bite your chest.
Well, we're talking about being a president as a felon. You know what I mean? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, we're
Great.
talking about being a president as a felon, and according to that article, it says you can be.
And I think you should be.
Me? You out of your mind?
No, I think that a
Oh, I
president.
thought you meant me specifically.
I almost feel like it should be a requirement because if anybody knows about injustices, it would be a felon.
yeah.
They've either committed an injustice or they've been unjustly sentenced.
yeah, but then you got the people now. Okay, well, you got this felon. He's a criminal. What's he going to do in office? Going to be do more criminal stuff, just like the rest of the people that we voted in that are supposed to be honest are doing
Right.
nothing but being criminals anyway.
And, that's what you got to worry about. You got to worry about a person that'll smile to your face. But a criminal will tell you, listen, I steal, but I don't steal from my friends and family. Have you ever heard that? Honestly.
Well, yeah, I've heard it.
Yeah, and I've done it. And I can tell you that I will steal, but I won't steal from you or Lewis or any of my friends or family. You know what I mean? But a big corporation that's screwing everybody, sometimes
It's probably still over there. In the
I don't know.
corner.
my
I
best
see
friends
it.
are like homeless people, criminals, that kind of element. Because you know who they are. I'm a junkie. They'll say it. They'll let you know. I don't know. You know what the worst is. You know.
Yeah, no, I got one. I have one.
You know what the worst of the person is what my point is. They're not hiding it. They don't have rich lawyers that hide everything. You know what you're getting into bed with. Is my point.
Yeah, I guess you could say that about Bill Clinton too. You know who he got in bed with now.
He knew he was getting in bed with.
But you know what? And
he wasn't a bad president.
he wasn't a bad president, and I didn't have anything against what he did in the office.
He's human. He's human.
Yeah. And so the only
And it
fact
just
is
makes
the only
him
fact,
more human.
It made him just as human to sit
No,
there and say
I feel
no.
bad
I didn't do
about
it.
his wife.
Well, certainly. I mean, I would. She went through a lot of bullshit, but look at her now. These damn cats. I swear to Christ. Oh, it's not the cat. It's a form of kitty.
The other door.
It's a form of kitty. Yeah, no, what Bill Clinton did wasn't that bad. What'd he do? He put a joint up to his lips, but he didn't inhale, and then Monica put his joint up to her lips and inhaled.
Yeah, don't forget the cigar.
Right.
And for us to be like, oh, well, he lied about it. Well, we knew he lied about smoking weed, too. Nobody freaked out then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he gets some smoking head, everyone's got a problem.
Yeah, now it would be totally accepted if the president was hanging out getting stoned. You know what I mean? Everybody would be like, yeah, we got a great president now. That would be one of the first things I did was sign an executive order to legalize medical cannabis in all the states. Not recreation, not yet. Because I don't think we're
And
there
then
yet.
let the states decide
Yes,
on the recreation.
exactly.
On the recreation.
The medical, definitely, because there's so many people in the world that need it that don't even know they need it.
It shouldn't even be a federal thing. To me, it's just a freedom.
I kind of agree with
It's
that.
only a federal thing because they have it on the drug
enforcement, yeah.
list.
Let's bring that up. Let's check that
But
out.
putting that on the list was wrong.
Who did that? Wasn't it Hoover? J. Edgar Hoover? Who did
I
that?
don't remember which one of them did it, but yeah, it was wrong to do it.
Yeah.
But they did it for money.
I don't think they should be doing it at all.
No, but it was done for money. It was
but
done.
that's me. I don't have a problem with any drug in the world. I have a problem with what people do,
Did you know, babe?
like
that
breaking into my house. I have a
could
problem
run
with
for
that.
president?
I have a problem with somebody driving and crashing their car because they misused whatever drug they took, whether recreationally or medically necessary or.
I'm going to run for president of my own world.
Well, you ought to win in your own world.
I
There's
will
only
definitely
one person
win
to
in my
vote
own
for
way.
you.
Damn right. I'll win with a landslide, as they say, right? I'm president in my own mind.
Morning again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was the pharmaceutical companies that got it put on
Get him out of here,
that
please.
drug list. I mean, because really, it's not.
I don't think it was pharmacy then, was it?
It was.
No, but the companies.
I know Bayer was around then because they were making heroin at the time.
You got
You know, it was all money.
Perfume.
too much. All right, so
Well,
what I'm reading
That
is
perfume's high in citrus, so it'll wear off.
it's strong.
It's very strong now, but it'll wear off quick.
Yeah, it makes
Girls have a problem with their perfume because they have to put on a lot so that it'll
their
last.
pH is higher.
So that it'll last longer later on because they don't use musky
All right, so I
perfumes. Musks last longer.
it's you know what I can't stand is the perfume powders that the old ladies wear.
Uh-huh.
That is so overpowering. You could smell one of those ladies on the other side of Walmart when you're all the way in the back by the audio video section and they walk in the front door. You could smell that perfume powder, at least that perfume powder. At least I can anyway, and it makes me gag, man. It's hard.
I do. I throw up.
Yeah, it's hard. We
I
worked
have very
with
sensitive nose.
and if Marcy chimes in, she'll tell you we called her Robo Whore. I won't mention any
Nice.
names. Yeah, she slept with just about everybody
I
in
wanna
the
meet
restaurant. No, not Marcy.
Oh.
We didn't call Marcy Robo Whore, but Marcy knows the girl that I'm talking about.
Oh.
I won't mention her name.
You did say that. I won't mention her name.
Yeah, no. It wasn't Marcy. But
I'm
Marcy.
like, yes, and she's coming to the show.
I apologize
Robo-whore.
for him.
Sweet.
We've yet to get him under control. I can't wait to see when she chimes in on that one. No, but Marcy will tell you, this girl, she would walk in the front door of Red Lobster, and you could smell her instantly in the kitchen. It was horrible.
With the
horrible.
perfume or
you
like
could
the
taste
alcohol?
it with the perfume. It was so strong, you could literally taste it. It was horrible.
Oh, that's that diseased pussy.
I don't know, but
They
it
use it to cover
stunk.
up the fish smell. It's actually a trichinosis.
That's disgusting, dude. How did we go from that to that?
Because it's perfume, and why would she put on so much perfume? It's to cover up a smell. Either she was drinking, or she has an odor.
I don't know. We went to a party one day. One of the cooks threw a party one day at his house, and we were cooking steaks and all of that. Next thing I know, I see these two people on the back lawn going at it. Well, sure enough, one of them is Robo Whore, and my buddy Psycho. That was his nickname, Psycho, because he was a psycho.
I want to meet Robo Whore.
No, you don't want to meet
I
Robo
do.
Whore.
Anybody named Robo Whore?
Well, that was the nickname I came up with just because I'm a prick. And I passed it around the restaurant. Oh, Robo Whore's here. You can smell it.
Like the only cop I want to meet would be Robo Cop.
Yeah.
I'd like to meet Robo Whore. You know?
Robo Whore. Freeze. Pull down your pants. I am going to have sex with you.
Nice.
Yeah, no, she was bad. It was horrible. She slept with just about everybody in the restaurant, and those that she didn't sleep with tried to sleep with her. You know what I'm saying? And then my one buddy started dating her, and I'm like, dude, you do realize that you're like making out with everybody else's. He's like, what? I'm like, bro, she slept with everybody in the restaurant except for like maybe 3 people. And the 3 people was me, one of them, and probably 2 other girls. If she could sleep with them, she probably would. All right, so let's see. I got this, the Legend
Of Zelda.
the Legend of Zorro. No, the
Finally
Legend.
got it in.
The legal. Sorry, Legend. It looks. Look, my eyes are bad, people. The legal history of cannabis in the United States relates to the regulation of marijuana use for medical and recreational purposes in the United States. Regulations and restrictions on the sale of cannabis sativa as a drug began as early as 1619. Increased restrictions and labeling of cannabis as a poison began in many states from 1906 onward. The outright prohibition began in the 20s, which makes a lot of sense because that's when they did all of that. Yeah.
They prohibited a lot of things.
Right. By the mid-30s, cannabis was regulated as a drug in every state, including 35 states that adopted the Uniform State Narcotic Drug Act. In the 1970s, many places in the United States, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't say who started it. It doesn't mention who, what president it was. I want to say Hoover. I don't know why I want to say Hoover, but I don't know if it was him.
He sucks.
Hoover sucks.
Like a vacuum. Get it? He said suck. TP for my bunghole. Cornholio.
So everybody, listen.
other
We
news.
still got we still got school out there. The kids are still out there on the corners. So please slow down. These idiots are still flying up and down the road where my daughter goes to the bus stop. So it's time to dust off the old railroad spikes in the 2x4. Yes, I take gutter spikes and I drive them through a 2x4. And if you drive too fast past the bus stop, I will throw it in front of you. And Hernando County Sheriff still hasn't done nothing about it.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. They still don't. I've complained a few times, but I mean, it's a main road. You would think you would have somebody sitting along that main road somewhere. You want to meet your quota? I mean, it's the beginning of the month, so they're probably not too worried about it. Did you notice that? The end of the month, they were out writing tickets like a son of a bitch.
Yeah. Plus, it was
Yeah.
a holiday weekend.
Right. When you hear, we don't go by that quota. We don't go by that quota. There was just a story that broke that they do.
Yeah.
They do
And
go by the
they
quota.
work real hard the first week of the month and the last
week of the month. Exactly.
The other 2 weeks, they just kind of,
What's up, beautiful?
whatever we get.
Yeah. I almost feel like traffic citations they should be illegal. That's how I feel.
I don't think they should have all the cameras on the lights, though.
Listen, I should be able to drive however I want. I should be able to drive without a driver's license. I should be free to drive.
A veteran.
When are they going to make it so that I have a cell phone license? Or I don't know,
What are we talking
an
about?
electric license?
Having to be licensed for everything?
Yeah, it gets ridiculous. I think you should be able to drive. I think there shouldn't be tickets. You should, if you hurt somebody, you should go to jail for hurting somebody. Do you see what I mean? If there's property damage, you should have to pay for it.
Yeah, but there's people who just shouldn't drive.
Yeah.
And they're going to drive whether you tell them they can or can't.
Absolutely.
Well,
And-
yeah, like
and-
that guy there was a guy with no arms. He's been arrested for DUI. I don't know how many times.
Oh, the DJ over here? No.
Why are you pointing
it
at
was
me?
in-
Oh, no, it's over there.
Oh.
no,
I'm like,
it was
wait a
a guy
minute, what'd I
in-
do?
I think it was Newport Richie.
Was it?
Okay.
No arms and got arrested for DUI.
And stealing a car. He would steal a car,
Okay.
no arms. He
but
would
do you
steal
see-
a car and drive it.
Okay, now all the things that are wrong with that is not that he was driving, but that he stole a car. So he should go to jail for stealing, and that he was driving drunk. Do you see what I'm saying? Like he was dangerous. You should get in trouble for that. But I don't. The license. It's just wrong to me. I'm not saying you
So-
shouldn't get in trouble, but why should they get extra money?
Back to ISIS,
I don't
guys.
get it.
I don't mean to change subjects, but back to ISIS.
I just think we should be free. I'm sorry.
Apparently, Obama is okaying more troops in Iraq now. When he said, no, we're not going to put any troops on the ground, now he's okaying it. Why is that?
It's a very complicated story. It goes back to the 1960s.
And moving in other news.
Seriously, it's exhausting.
It is.
Because
It's-
I was following it back. I was tracing it and tracing it and tracing it. It just keeps going back and back and back. And somebody did something wrong. And then we're just going through it.
It's
Pretty much. This is what we need to do. Leave everybody alone. There's one last thing we should do. And I don't believe in giving guns to other people. But we need to give guns to the people over there so they can fight ISIS, because we gave the guns to ISIS. Just to make it fair, and then step out of everything and do not give anybody else guns.
Well,
No more proxy
What
wars.
worries me about that is history repeating itself, because we armed them to begin with to fight the Russians, and now
Right.
we're fighting the ones that we armed and trained all these people. The CIA went in and trained.
And isn't that the way it usually turns out?
Yeah.
Is whoever we arm to begin with,
We end up fighting or eradicating one of the two.
That's the difference. Once we arm somebody, let's just say we armed Sudan,
Sudan.
whoever.
Right.
Okay.
Those guys. Those guys over there.
You can stutter, and you've actually said something, which
Yeah,
is awesome.
that's
I meant to say Saddam Hussein, but Sudan works.
Sudan. Yeah,
All right. So we give him guns.
that's right. I used to
does what he's
confuse
gotta do.
Obama and Osama all the time.
Then they get too strong, and then we normally come in and mess them up. What I'm saying, the only way we can break that cycle is to give somebody else guns and let them fight
Let
it out,
them do
and
it.
we step out completely.
Yeah.
Basically, we've given guns to Group A.
But we
Well-
haven't to Group B.
Right. So let's just and normally we give the guns to Group A.
Arm them both to the teeth.
Group A takes out B, and then we take out A. That's what we normally do.
That's usually it. Yeah.
Okay, so we've already given guns to Group A, which is the Islamic Isils and ISIS.
The Isles, yeah.
And the
The
CPAPs
ISISes.
and what all this stuff over there.
Right.
Okay.
All the Bin Ladens.
Right. Now, instead of us giving them, we gave the guns to Group A. Instead of giving them instead of us going over there and killing them, we need to give them to Group B.
Yeah.
So that it balances.
Speaking of the Bin Ladens,
It'll
did
balance.
you
If there's 10 guys with guns pointing at 10 guys with guns, it's going to balance out.
know? Yeah.
Now let's let it balance and stay out of it. Let's just stay out of everybody's stuff.
Until they start messing with us like these guys are. Then we need to go in and just eradicate them all.
But are they messing with us?
Yeah. They're threatening our way of life.
He's just thirsty. Listen, they're in the desert.
They're in the desert. They got nothing to drink. They want Kool-Aid.
So what do you do if you're in the desert and you're thirsty?
You drink.
You get your cell phone out. You say, "I'm going to kill somebody."
If you don't send me some Evian.
Okay, so then you put your cell phone down. You wait for the helicopter to show up and snatch you up to Guantanamo, and then they waterboard you, and they're like, "Oh, water."
Yeah. I'm not too sure it goes that way, but it does make sense. They waterboard you. And for those of you that don't know what waterboarding is, it's a form of torture.
It's not surfboarding.
No, it's not nice.
It's not the diving board.
No, it's a form of
You're not bored.
no. It's what do they call it? It's torture.
It's having a nice sip
Yeah.
of water.
It's torture. It's a form of torture.
It's quenching.
Yeah. it's very thirst quenching.
But if you were in the desert, half delirious, this might be a plan. You know?
Right. So we got a Spider-Man suspect robs a Clearwater convenience store. Spidey's gone bad. Guy wearing a Spider-Man mask
Not
robbed
even
the convenience
Venom.
store. Yeah, right.
Come on.
That's messed up.
Could have at least spray painted it.
We got a call. Who is it?
Why did President Obama get 2 terms?
Hello.
Because
I don't know why he got
because every black man gets a longer sentence.
Oh.
You killed his mic. He's green. Oh, what's going on
Oh.
here?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Still? See, I can hear myself, so I got to be on.
Well, no, the last thing you said when I was talking about Obama,
Oh, you didn't hear that?
it didn't come through.
Oh.
All right, so we got 11-year-old got hit at a bus stop. Helps if I turn my mic back up. An 11-year-old got hit at a bus stop in Valrico. See? Slow down, people. Be aware of what's going on. I got JB is going to be calling in here, so. And there he is. Good morning, JB. You are on the air.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Good morning, JB.
So I was listening a little bit, and I hear about you're talking about ISIS. And
ISIS,
the fact
yeah.
that they're in the desert, and they're not a threat to the United States. Well, I don't know about that. I think they're in the desert over there in Mexico, and they're a big threat to the United States, and we're going to see that in the next couple of weeks.
I would have to
And so-
agree.
And so, for me, I don't agree with how the United States is handling this, because at the end of the day, we should blow them to smithereens. We've already armed them by giving Iraq weapons, where the Iraqis just ran and hid, and ISIS took all of our MRAPs and all of our weapons, and now is using them in the Mideast to scare people with.
Against everybody that we've tried to protect.
Exactly.
Right.
So, to sit back and say, oh, you know what, they're over there in the desert and they're not coming here and they're not a threat here. Well, they just killed 2 of our guys. and cut their heads off and terrorize the whole country with that.
And sent us
So
a
at this
video
point-
of it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but a gang could do
At
that.
this point, it's time to eradicate. It's time to kill every one of those people, and then arm the good guys. After we kill ISIS, then arm the good guys. It's almost like cancer.
But ISIS isn't
You
an
do a little bit of
organization.
radiation. I hate to, advocate radiation. You do a little bit of chemo, and then the patient maybe dies. But at the end of the day, these patients over there, they should all kill themselves because
said
you can't
Nukem-
trust any of
I mean,
those
Nukem
people
uses
over there.
chemical bombs.
The Syrians, the Iraqis, the Iranians, none of them can be trusted. So if it means killing 20,000 ISIS people and then letting the rest of them kill each other afterwards, that's fine. But to have them come over here and do stuff to us, or wait for them to do stuff to us, and they will, okay? Just like our stupid president and how he's handling Putin. Okay,
Yeah.
Putin is marching, and we're doing nothing. We're doing absolutely nothing, and that's this
Well, we supply
do-nothing
guns to
strategy
Ukraine.
of the Americans right now is going to cause havoc in the world. There's no doubt about it.
No, I completely agree. We should have done something a long time ago about this. The first time ISIS threatened any American, it should have been all over. President Obama should have reacted just like President Clinton did to the first Gulf War. What did it take him? Yeah, it took him about a week. Okay, but what are we? How many months into this bullshit now are we? You know what I'm saying? How many Americans do have to die? How many more Americans got to become prisoners? Are they going to wait until they breach the Mexican border? Like you said, they're there already. They've made no
They're here.
secret
Are
of it.
you kidding me? The Mexican cartels is taking that oil money and loving it that
Yep.
ISIS is paying.
Yep.
And here's the thing. If people don't think in this country that when we're vulnerable, how hard is it to take somebody off the street, bring them to a vacant lot, cut their head off on video here in the United States, and have that guy from the UK say, "We're here,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
And we're killing your people on your soil. What are you going to do about it?"
Yeah, it's true.
There's nothing anybody can do because we're the biggest soft target around. People walk around with their heads up their ass in this country, and that's the problem. And when it starts here, it's going to topple the economy because people are going to be afraid. Just remember, John Mohammed and that 16-year-old kid that were snipers
DC
on the
shooters.
East Coast.
Yeah.
Okay, and they were
The
shooting
DC
people
shooters,
in
yeah.
gas stations. They had the whole East Coast terrified. People didn't want to go to gas stations at night, and it was only two black guys with weapons.
Doesn't
You can
matter
only
if they're
imagine
black.
when ISIS gets started here, and they will, because A, they're here already. They've been here for a while. We already have Americans over there fighting for ISIS that will come back here. They have UK guys over there fighting that's going to come back over there and can come over here.
That
And
can
so if
come over
anybody-
here legally, exactly.
Legally.
Yeah.
So if
They're
anybody,
residents
and they
here.
want to die for Allah. So if anybody thinks that,
They're
let's
over there
just
learning how to
wait.
make bombs and train.
Let's
and
let's
fighting.
wait for them to do it.
Practice on other
Wait
people.
for them to get here because you know what? When they get here and they start doing things, it's too late already.
Oh, it's not a when. It's too late already.
It is too late.
Yeah.
And you want to know something? Maybe a lot of people don't like George Bush. Maybe, for whatever reason. But does anybody really believe that
Shock and
George
awe.
Bush would have allowed ISIS to continue doing what they're doing now?
No.
They
No.
have a 26-year-old
He'd kick
female
her ass and bust some
hostage
oil.
of ours right now. Why do you think she's not getting killed? Because they're raping the daylights out of her daily.
Yeah. Yep. And George,
And that's being allowed. Why didn't we know about all of these hostages that they have months and months ago?
right, the government knew about it. You damn well the government knew about it.
Because people in the United States would be outraged if
Yep.
they knew that they're able to just pick our guys out. Boom, boom, boom. They had a list of Americans, and for whatever reason, these people went over there, to tell the story, which is admirable. But at the end of the day, where was our government protecting these people? It's almost like another Benghazi. Why wasn't our government
What's
protecting
Benghazi?
those people over there?
Ask him. I don't know.
And if anybody thinks that Obama
The Strip.
cares about any of this, he's a Muslim. He doesn't care. If he cared, we'd be doing something. And these little bomb strikes that he's doing over there, these guys are people over there in the Mideast are joining ISIS left and right, regardless of these little bomb strikes that we do.
Right,
they don't
because
care.
They have no choice, and they're seeing, oh, America's not doing nothing about this ISIS. Well, let's
Exactly.
join up. Look at these guys, the way they're living. They got food, like Joseph said. They got water. They got this. They got guns.
Yep.
They're trained. So let's join up with them. Sure, absolutely.
Think about this: when Obama told Syria, drew the line in the sand, and did nothing. That was a big sign to all of those people over there, because at the end of the day, they only know action. They don't care about words. They only know action, and that's why they're cutting people's heads off, because
300
they
million
don't
got
have
killed.
to talk.
300 million got
It's a lot easier to
displaced.
cut somebody's head off on video and scare the crap out of all kinds of people around the world.
Joseph
and
just made a good point. What was it, like what'd you say, Joseph? 300 million people displaced because of that whole situation?
There's more refugees from this than there was in every other war ever.
There's more refugees from this situation than there was in because of any other war. I mean, isn't
this makes the Holocaust its bitch.
This makes, Joseph just made a good point. This makes the Holocaust its bitch.
Oh, it's a joke. That's a joke compared to this. And you want to know something? The bad thing is when they start cutting people's heads off here, and they will. Okay, they cut people's heads in Mexico over the last 10 years. All of a sudden, it became a thing to cut people's heads off. Where did they learn that? Why did they start implementing that? Because they started getting Muslim money coming through the border. Look, they found Korans in the desert going to Arizona for years. Muslim blankets, prayer blankets in the desert for years. We ignored all of that. They're here already, okay? And I'm, in my opinion, you're going to see a war with Israel very soon. Israel's going to light up the Mideast, and while everybody's looking over there, they're going to hit us over here.
Yep.
That's the plan for them.
So let me ask you this, JB. Now, do you think they really have a chance with people like you and me that are not going to stand for it in our own country? How far do you think it's really going to go?
Well, you have to have contact with them, buddy. You know, I'm just talking about, like I drove down to Miami yesterday. I saw all of these people in the street. And there's empty lots here and there. How hard is it to grab somebody off the street and take them into an empty lot at night or whatever, and make a video, cut their head off, and then post it on YouTube? And when you do that, that's going to scare the crap out of every American, because why? Now you're vulnerable. We're here.
Yeah.
This guy said yesterday on his video, I'm back. Well, wait till he says I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's why we
because
should
when
open
he's
carry.
here, when they're here and they're doing it, then Americans, that's when they turn into the real sheeple, and they run and they hide and they stay in their house and they don't spend money, just like what happened with John Muhammad and the kid, the sniper. Everybody stayed in. They didn't want to go to gas stations, and it turned out to be some guy with a kid and killing people. ISIS is not some guy with a kid. They have a plan, and we don't. Our president said so. And because he said so, these guys are here, and they're laughing at us.
Well,
and
see,
when the shit hits the fan here, you and I and you guys will be talking shit on the radio, but at the end of the day, they'll be doing it on video on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. Joseph just asked, in your opinion, what do you see as far as what do you see as far as a solution to this?
Now, you know what? If you don't act, if you don't show these people action, then there's no solution. So you have to go over there. I know nobody likes to hear this. Nobody likes war, but they've already declared war on us. This is war. Okay? This is not the war that we know. This is the war that we feared when we were first going into Iraq, where people said, what are you going to do, go town to town? You have to. You fight the enemy on their own turf, because if you don't, they're going to fight you on yours.
They're going to come here.
When they do that here, when the war is here, because America is not only the biggest target, it's the biggest prize. Americans fear more than anything having a war on their own territory, because guess what? The only war we've ever had on our own territory is what? Is the war we had against ourselves.
The Civil War, right?
The Civil War. So at the end of the day here, Americans don't want to hear anything about a war here. And the world knows this. It's hard to get you know what? Here's the other side. To have a war in America, you can't just send boats over here and planes over here, because we're going to pick them off. What you had to do is, like the Muslims have been doing over years, sending their people here in droves. Okay, and let me tell you something. It's not ignorant people doing this. This is doctors, lawyers, and all kinds of people killing themselves for Allah, and they're here.
Yeah, it's
okay?
their religion.
When the time is right, they're going to do it. There's no doubt about it. And when the war starts here, it's too many people already here now to defend against them. They're not going to fight the war like we've been looking at. They're going to fight the war that they do over here.
And like Joseph said, there's no real leader either. They're all like leaders of their own little faction, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's why. It's like a shark's tooth. When they break one, another one pops out.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, this with a president that with an administration that we have. Think about this. Why does everybody call ISIS ISIS, and this administration calls them ISIL? What is the point of that?
Yeah, we've been joking around about it for days because we don't know what to call them if they don't know what to call themselves.
Well,
you know
everybody
what I'm
can
saying?
agree on ISI, so I think we should go with Izzy.
They're the enemy.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
Period.
You can call them whatever you want. They're the enemy.
Right.
And you know, cutting people's heads off and putting it on video. You know, and that's just the Americans. You know, we're only focused on 2 Americans. What about all the Iraqis, Syrians,
With the Syrians,
you know,
Yeah.
and the rest of them
That
over
was
there
the
that are
point
getting
Joseph
killed
was trying to
daily?
make. Huh?
Turn my mic off.
You know, it's going to be. I'm telling you something. It's coming. There's no doubt about it. And 9/11 is coming. I don't know what they have planned, but I'm willing to bet you
It's
there's
something
going to be
big.
some things happening.
Yeah, it's going to be something big. I mean, you know, there's already memos and notices going out to all of these big towers and shit like that. And I was curious to see what's going to happen. What do we got? 11, 10, 9, 8 more days, right?
Anytime now.
Yeah.
Anytime now.
Wait, 8
And,
more
and you
days
know,
what?
of course,
8 more
Obama.
days till 9/11.
Oh,
Yeah.
Everybody wonders why all the police are being armed with ex-army stuff. Well,
using it on us.
you know, martial law after stuff like this happens is something Obama would implement. There's no doubt about it.
Right. Yep.
And Holder as well. I mean, so you know, there's a bit. Everybody thinks Obama's stupid. Well,
He's
I
not
think
stupid.
He's stupid like a fox.
he's covert.
He's covert, Joseph said.
He's what?
He's covert.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. He's got a plan. Him and Holder, this administration has a plan. John Kerry is one of the biggest jerks I've ever seen in my life.
Joseph
And
made
you
a good
put him
point.
over there in that position is unbelievable.
Joseph made a good point. He made a statement. He plays a jerk.
I said,
Well,
oh,
exactly.
whatever.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, whatever.
You know,
Yeah.
America's in trouble. Okay, and
Kinda like the
it's
opposite.
almost like, you know, it's almost like somebody that was a tough guy and then got too old and decided to be, you know what, I'm going to try to understand my enemies and try to deal with them in a nice way.
Right. I'm going to try and philosophize with them.
Somebody read The Art of War.
Yeah, well, it's too late now, my friend. Believe me when I tell you, they are going to act.
Yeah.
And people are going to be miffed. But at that point, it's going to be too late because we allowed this to go on and continue to go on. The stupidity goes on every single day in this country.
And we let it into our country is what happened. I mean, we could have stopped it. We could have shut the borders down a long time ago. I've been saying this for years. You want to solve all those problems? Stop letting these people in our country.
It's kind of funny that we would, you know, enforce other countries' borders and watch other countries enforce their borders, and we do nothing about ours.
Right. Right.
That's a joke.
When we have one of the biggest border problems there is, whether it be, you know, militant groups, mercenaries, or whatever you want to call them, psychos like this, we have one of the biggest problems with our borders.
Well, when you say military groups, see, that's where the martial law is going to come in, because once the shit hits the fan in this country and militias start acting, martial law is going to be implemented because Obama he's going to say we can't have this out-of-control situation going on in our country. The government needs to do this. Well, the government needed to do it a long time ago,
And
they allowed this to fester. And now, you know, when the militias start hunting down, and they will, when there's terrorism in this country being implemented, you know, almost like an Israeli type of situation, and it will. There's no doubt about it. It will. The militias act, and Obama acts with martial law. And at the end of the day, America's changed dramatically. And he said he was going to do it.
And,
He said he
what
was gonna
happens?
change America.
What happens, JB, if he declares martial law? Then we have a president, okay, who cannot be voted out because of martial law. Everything ceases. There's no elections. There's no nothing until, and he could do it for what, 10 years? 10 years.
Well, he said he was going to change America, and he is. And you know what? He's allowing the Muslims. And I hate to use the term so loosely because there are good people that are Muslim. I'm not saying that they're not.
Right.
But you know what? It's almost like this. When you walk down the street, if you see five young black males standing there, okay? And I don't care who you are, you're a white male or a white female. You tend to want to walk on the other side of the street, okay? Because you don't know if it's good or bad and what the intentions are.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you have to stereotype. So, at the end of the day, it's Muslims that are doing the killings in the Mideast. It's Muslims that did 9/11. It's Muslims that blew up the World Trade Center years ago. It's Abdul Rahman that's in prison for terrorism. It's Muslims,
yeah.
and at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, they're the enemy. Okay, and what happens in this country when they start hitting here, you're going to have militias hunting down Muslims that they think are terrorists, and
whether
that's when this civil war starts in this country.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it's coming. The peaceful way of life in this country is going to end here soon. And people are going to say whatever they want to say, but at the end of the day, if you're not armed and you're not ready, you're in trouble.
You're a statistic.
There's no doubt about it. That's just my opinion. I don't want to sound so dramatic, but when the shit hits the fan, it's too late already.
Yep.
That's the problem.
Yep.
You got to eradicate. My solution, if it was me, my solution is, they want to get NATO together to do something about Russia. Get NATO together and do something about ISIS.
Yeah. Yeah, don't just sit by idly.
You're sending 4,000 NATO troops over there to go do something against Russia. 4,000. Take the same 4,000 plus 14,000 that the UK is going to put together. Take 20,000 troops, NATO, around the world. Go over there, hunt them down, and kill them all. Okay? That sends a message to all the people that would potentially join. Maybe I don't want to join. But right now,
exactly.
Nobody's doing nothing. I'm going to join the winning team because they're out there doing shit, and nobody's doing anything about it. Mm-hmm. Nobody.
Yep.
That's the problem. Inaction is the problem.
And my belief and the way I was taught was for every great action, there has to be a greater reaction.
No doubt, buddy. And you're from Long Island, so
absolutely.
We think alike in that regard.
Yeah.
When the plane went down, Flight 800.
I remember.
People walked around like, wow, I can't believe the plane went down. Well,
the plane was
shot
down,
and then all the
people.
conspiracy theories came out, and it was done with. But at the end of the day, did anybody ever find out why and how?
No.
Nope,
not at all. We just went and picked up the
problem
pieces
with
and
America.
went, oops.
Yep, we put our heads up our ass or in the sand, and all we want to do is go on with our way of life. And at the end of the day, these terrorists, I think that I heard something yesterday. America has a watch, but the Muslims have time.
Right, yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
So you can take the watch away, but they're patient. They're a patient group of people. You know what? Those people, a majority of the people over there in that part of the world are poor.
It's like that fish that sits on the bottom of the ocean and sits and waits for its prey to get close. What is it? Jewfish. I don't know if that's what it is, but it waits for its prey to get close.
He's talking about not the Jew. They call it a Jewfish. It's the grouper.
The grouper. It lets its enemy even bite at it and take picks at it, and then finally it'll sit and wait until the enemy is not aware that it's even there.
Open up its big mouth and swallow
gone.
it.
Yep, exactly.
That video, you guys saw it, the video of the grouper eating the shark.
Yeah. Yep. Joseph shared a video with us the other day, and it was the Chinese reporter driving around with some guy in Britain, and then some Muslim came up to the window, started talking shit with him, and punched him in the face. And this is in Britain, Oh, you're prejudiced. You hate Chinese. You hate blacks. You hate this one, Well,
look, the Chinese are dealing with Islamic terrorism, too, and you know how they just executed a dozen of them. They don't play games over there. You want to mess with us over there? We arrest you and we kill you.
Yeah.
And not over here. Over here, we arrest them. We send them to Guantanamo. They get a new soccer field. They get Muslim food. They get the Quran, and they get a prayer blanket. They get to do whatever they want. They get human rights after these people want to kill us. And I, I hate to say this. I agree with the Chinese. You want to kill me? You want to kill Americans? You need to die. There's no negotiating anything. It's when we catch you, and especially in the act, forget about a trial.
Yeah.
Kill them.
Yep.
Kill them.
Look what we do with our own citizens.
The other people that want to do this.
Look what we do with our own citizens. Okay, with not even killing anybody. You get caught drunk driving, you get locked up. Yep. So we catch you in this country doing some stupid shit, you get dead.
Well, this is a problem. This is a big problem. In this world today, ISIS is growing immensely, and a lot of people think they're just over there, and until they come over here, and like I said, once they start doing it here, then they're here, and it's too late. They got over here. If everybody thinks they're over there and they're not a problem, what do you think when they're here and they're doing it? You're going to say it's isolated? There's only a few of them? It doesn't matter. John Mohammed and the kid scared the whole East Coast, and it was only John Mohammed and the kid.
Yep.
A divorced guy that was deranged and some kid that was following him, doing whatever he's told. ISIS is a lot different than John Mohammed and the kid.
With a rifle that you buy, in Walmart, a 30-30 or 30-06, whatever they had, a rifle you could buy from Walmart. Now imagine...
Well, now that you say that, okay, understand another thing. So ISIS, they have weapons over there. Buddy, I can go right now, drive down to Fort Lauderdale for $569 and buy, and I'm for this, and buy an AR-15 in a heartbeat. Nobody can stop me.
Yep.
I believe everybody should have an AR-15 at this point. But at the end of the day, so could these Muslims. They're here.
They've got rocket launchers. They've got grenade launchers. They've got our military weapons. Why? Because we train them to fight other countries. And Joseph was saying it, we train them, we arm them, and then we eradicate them.
You can't trust these people. That's the problem. You can train them and arm them. Look what we did with Iraq. We trained them, we armed them, and when it came to fighting ISIS, what did they do? They dropped their weapons and ran, and half of them probably joined the other side. So at the end of the day, you can't trust these people. I mean, I hate to say this like that. It sounds almost, prejudice, but you can't trust these people. They don't trust each other.
How
can we trust them?
I don't think it sounds prejudiced at all, because they have given us no reason to trust them. None whatsoever. None.
Well, they're over there in the Golan Heights now, and they're basically on the Israeli border. And believe me, if anybody's going to be showing a solution to deal with them, it's going to be Israel. Because if they start coming into Israel and start doing things in Israel, what do you think the Israelis are going to do?
They're just going to kill them. No questions asked. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. Show the world, at the end of the day, France has a problem with them. Denmark has a problem with them. UK has a problem with them. We need to get NATO together, get over there, and start killing them.
They're there.
And that's what needs to happen. To sit on our hands and wait for them to come here, it's too late then.
Yeah.
And they're here already. There's no doubt. They're just patient people enjoying the American way of life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
A lot of them don't want to do anything because they got women, they got porn, they got drugs, they got alcohol, they got everything.
Yeah.
Something that over there they're not allowed to have.
Something over there you'll get beheaded for.
Yeah, well, to be honest, we have, we have a gas station over here in Jupiter Farms.
Is that the one you were talking about? That's the one you were talking about last week.
I started some shit about her last week, okay?
Yep.
She's a Hamas sympathizer. She says, and she wears a hijab, okay? She wears one of those things. And there's people that have walked in there with U.S. military shirts that she's given dirty looks to. She tells people outright that Hamas is a religious organization. Yeah, they are a religious organization. That's really a terrorist organization.
A religious extremist organization.
And she's right here. She's in the gas station and everybody. I mean, I started some stuff, and people were were giving me grief, that I should go in there and have coffee with her and talk to. You know what? If I went in there to have coffee with her and she started her garbage, I'd get thrown out of there, and the police would be called.
Give her our number.
Yeah.
Talk to her.
You want to know something? I'm going to do that.
Go for it.
I am going to go in there and start some. That's a very good idea. I'm going to go in there and start some shit and tell her, if you want to really talk shit,
get on the radio.
Talk shit.
Yep.
I'm going to do that. I promise you. I'm going to do that.
That's a good idea.
This woman she is an extremist. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, guys, I just was listening. I heard this conversation, and this one touches me because you know what? Yesterday we had another guy get his head cut off, and at the end of the day, I just I know that there's a female 26-year-old American over there being raped daily, probably beaten and tortured, just like Foley was.
Yeah.
You talked about waterboarding. Foley was waterboarded. Foley was tortured and beaten. And so was Sokoloff, and so is this woman. And at the end of the day, our government condemns torture, but our guys are being tortured over there.
Yeah.
And we don't know how many are over there now.
No, we have no
Nobody's
idea.
going to tell you exactly how many people are over there. And
these aren't even military fighters. They were shooting, but with a camera. You know what I'm saying? And this poor girl.
We talking about Ferguson?
No. Yeah, right.
And look way of war, though.
Yeah,
okay,
look at like what you say with this girl, JB. I mean, yeah, okay, it's one thing to be a man and be tortured because we're a little tougher than some women are, but to be a woman and be in that situation and then for our country to allow it, I mean, that's disgusting. Well, when people in this country cry that we tortured Muslims to get information out of them, they're not torturing our people to get information. They're torturing people over there and killing them out of us
to scare people.
Yep.
Okay, that's their way of war. That's terrorism, to affect the masses via some act of terror.
Yeah.
And so if that's an act of war, and in their regard, we have to not use their kind of war. We have to go in there and use our kind of war, which is, America's known for this, killing many people.
Absolutely.
What's wrong with that?
Yep.
I mean, that's what we've done all through history, is kill
and let
many
Allah
people.
sort them out.
Allah, Muhammad, if everybody understood what Muhammad really is or was, he was a pedophile. I mean, these people, they're preaching to ignorant people who are poor, who think that if they do something, it's their life and their family's life in the future is going to be better than it is now. And that's bullshit. Because when you're dead, you're dead. It's the end of the story. So they're preaching to ignorant poor people over there.
Sorry, JB, but we're laughing because I had an adapter in my fingers like I was holding a cigarette, and I went to go take a drag on it like it was a cigarette.
He's smoking a microphone jack.
I'm smoking a microphone jack here.
Well, I'm not listening, so I don't know that you're laughing. I'm outside walking around.
You're pacing, aren't you? I can tell you.
Yes, I am pacing. 100% pacing while I'm talking to you. That's what I do when I talk on the phone.
Go to the gas station.
Good show. This topic to me is dear because at the end of the day, this is America.
Because you're a red-blooded American. You're a true American citizen. You're a red-blooded American. And this country means something to you. It's not just a place to live.
It means something to everybody. And you know what? Like I said to you, the proof of how things happen when this stuff happens is John Muhammad and the kid, okay? And how that scared the whole East Coast, stopped people from going into gas stations at night.
Yep.
I mean, what do you do? What's going to go on when some nutjob Muslim walks into a crowded movie theater with an AK-47 and shoots it up, and so he gets killed? Big deal. He did it in the name of Allah, and he took out 100 people. How many people are going to stop going to movies after that?
Exactly.
Plenty.
In
Long Island years ago, a gang of black guys went into a diner in Westbury and raped patrons and made people rape each other and do all kinds of funky things. People didn't want to go to diners after that.
I remember. I was a kid when that happened.
Yeah. And so ISIS, when you put it together and you think about what ISIS really could do to the economy in this country, and what it could do to the psyche of people in this country, it's immense compared to these little.
JB, they've done it already. You know what I'm saying?
And-
When
and they're just
the
warming
Muslim
up right
religion
now.
wanted to change this country and change the way we live, well, they did it. They've succeeded. Now they're just continuing on that mission. And like you said,
Well, they're patient people.
Yeah.
They're patient. You know what? Think about this. They killed Foley a couple of weeks ago. You know, if they weren't so patient, they would have killed this guy Steven a couple of weeks ago. Right
Yep.
after that, they would kill the woman. They're slow and easy because they know they want you. Terrorism is they want you to think about what could happen to you.
yeah,
You're next.
Yep.
Okay? And that's why they're not, you don't see this woman. Believe me, after they kill this UK guy, you're probably going to see the woman at the end of the tape, the 26-year-old woman at the end of the tape. And that's going to scare the crap out of everybody in this country at that point.
and hopefully by then everybody wakes the hell up, gets off their ass, and actually does do something about that. And I don't mean just the people of the United States. I mean our government.
Well, our government's not going to do anything with Obama and Kerry and this administration. That's for sure. They're
John
not going to do
Kerry's a
anything.
joke, dude.
Yeah, they're not going to do anything. This is the problem. You got a couple of years left of Obama, and it's not going to take a couple
Do
of
we?
years.
I thought it was
This is only his second year of the second term.
That's it?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's got until 2016.
Why does your microphone sound like that?
2016.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was, okay. Wow.
You got 2 years left with this guy, and let me tell you something. These guys have a 2-year plan. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Not to sound racist, but all
let's
black
see
people
what
have a
they
longer
do.
sentence.
Let's see what they do around 9/11 this year. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll do nothing. Maybe that's part of the terrorism plan. Make them think we're going to do something, don't do it, and
Right.
then do something afterwards.
Right, because that's what I mean about how they've changed this world already. We're all, scared shitless of this date that's coming up. They might just sit back and go, ha, got you, sucker.
Yeah, because we've got another
Exactly.
date
Or
that
do it
means
somewhere
something.
else in the
Right,
world, to
yeah.
an American embassy.
Tony just made a good point, because now we have another date that's infamous in history that actually means something. So they're gonna use that against us.
What date is
There's
that?
no doubt about it.
9/11?
That's what terrorism is.
Yeah.
It's fear.
Yeah.
Okay? And so you don't always
That's why
have
it's
to
all about
act,
heads.
but you got to make people think that they're going to act. And they probably will.
Yep.
So, all right,
JB,
guys, we'll
as
talk.
usual, man, it's a pleasure having you call in. You know that the phone line
Same
is
here, buddy.
open to you anytime. We're going to
I
take a
appreciate
break, and I'll hit you up off the air, Bubba.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, he's right. If we don't do something now, it's just going to get worse. It really is. I mean, I agree with a lot of the things he said with, the way our administration is just allowing this to happen. And he's right with this girl. You haven't heard much about it, but wait till they kill these other two. And then when they put her on the news, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is that what it's going to take to see, look what the bullshit we went through. America thought that, women shouldn't be in the trenches because men couldn't see the sight of a woman blown open. Well, what's going to happen when you see the sight of this woman being beheaded? We're just going to sit around and let that happen now? Some of these women that are in our military make better soldiers, make better pilots. It's a known fact that a woman makes a better helicopter pilot than a man. Statistics show it.
Because of the gyration?
No, because of reaction and brains.
Oh, I thought it
It's
was just
just-
because they're used to moving their hips in a certain way.
I knew you were going to go to that extreme with that. You're such a peckerhead. We're
Well, I
gonna,
mean, you're the one being sexist, saying women are smarter with helicopters
that
or
wasn't
whatever.
sexist.
So
It's-
back to
it's
like what you
statistics.
said before, they're already here, just like the last
Yeah.
9/11.
Yeah,
They were already here before then.
and we let them,
Not only do we let them, but we trained them to fly the planes.
and we paid them. Oh, here's $10 million. Go start a 7-Eleven. Here, have a Hess station. Here, have a. Well, no, BP won't let any of them have their name. Did you know that? British Petroleum. Go into any BP store, and look who runs it.
Hindus.
No,
Yeah,
Yeah.
in a BP.
in a BP.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, then, yeah,
Maybe not Saudi Arabians or whatever.
right.
But
That's
if
what I.
you look
know what
now,
I meant.
BP
Yeah.
is falling off.
Well,
All the BPs are disappearing.
You can't
Yeah.
confuse Hindus with, or Hindi. Which one is it? I don't know.
Hinduism.
Yeah, I don't know which way it's called.
Yeah.
You can't compare Indians to like Islamic or,
No.
or Middle East. Or not.
No, to where for a long time ago I didn't really know the difference, but there's a huge difference. Huge difference.
It's everybody gets
You're
confused.
talking
'cause-
Bin Laden as opposed to Gandhi,
well, one's wearing the turban,
right?
which is like Gandhi-ish,
Right.
And the other one, and they're the ones with like Kama Sutra, all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff, all peace and love and hippie. They got Hindu Kush Day. It's their god. They have a god, Hindu Kush. Come on, they're
And
on
they
our
worship
side.
elephants, right?
Well,
The Hindus worship elephants.
one of their
so-
gods,
yeah.
right? But my
we
point
gotta
is
take a
the other
break,
ones are like
guys.
the shroud people. They wear the shrouds, make the women wear the shrouds. That's
Yeah.
like the desert.
I don't
people.
understand all that shit, but we'll get into that when we get back from the break because I want to stay on this subject. I love talking about it. It's in the it's in the public eye right now. Everybody's worried about this, so we'll briefly go over the news. We got about 80-something minutes left of the show, but I want to stay on the subject because I love it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. We're going to get some Van Halen up, and a couple songs after that. And we're going to take a break. I know I need a break. So, what do you think, you guys? With that?
Well, after 5 minutes of saying we're going to take a break, I think we should now.
Yeah, because my bladder's going. Are you just talking about it, or are you going to go do it?
Okay. When we come back, I want to talk about this because you got to talk, and he got to talk.
It's all you.
Yeah, I need to talk.
It's all you. All right, we'll be right back.
Yep.
All my life I never stopped to worry about a thing. Open up and shout it out, never try to sing. Wondering if I've done it wrong. Will this depression last for long? Won't you tell me where have all the good times gone? Where have all the good times gone? Where have all the good times gone? Once we had an easy ride and always felt the same. Time was on our side, we had everything to gain. That did me like yesterday. Is that me or happy days? Mom, I look back on all the things they used to do. Never had no money and they always told the truth. Daddy didn't need no little toys. Mommy didn't need no little boys. Won't you tell me where have all the good times gone? Where have all the good times gone? Where have all the good times gone? Yesterday was such an easy game for you to play. But then let's face it, things are easier today. Yes, you need some bringing down. Get your feet back on the ground. Won't you tell me where have all the good times gone? 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 Where have all the good times gone?
Gonna throw on a little Pink Floyd, and we'll be back in a bit. don't know, but we're back on the air. Hey guys, we're back. I'm going to interrupt the old Pink Floyd because it's another 8 minutes of exactly what you hear and just elevator music, as Joseph eloquently put it before. But we are back because we only got about 40 minutes left of the show, and we want to get back. Joseph.
I'm still hearing the music.
Yeah, because it
just now.
Right.
That's
because
how long.
It takes a few seconds. Right. We've already established that weeks ago. Don't you remember?
Okay.
I'm just breaking chops. Joseph, I know you had something that you wanted to talk about, so it is all you, brother. Go for it.
Oh, everybody having a problem with ISIS or Muslims, more specifically, because they're associating ISIS with Muslims. Because ISIS has no leader and they just follow the Quran. So that is why we look at Muslims as a terrorist cell, right? Or potential terrorist cell. But
history repeats itself, I guess, type thing.
And everybody's worried about Muslims in America. I am not religious, but I do want freedom of religion. Freedom, like underscore freedom. That's what I want. I want freedom, and that includes freedom of religions.
Freedom of religion, speech,
yes,
sexuality, and all of it. It doesn't matter.
As long as you're not hurting nobody, I think you should be free to have a pursuit of happiness. You know?
But that's the whole point JB was making. Their freedom of religion is affecting people.
Right.
At least that's what I got from
it. Yeah.
Am I overpowering again with this
loud?
Mic?
I don't think
I
so.
am.
Maybe you got a little high pitched or
yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know. Go ahead. Don't tell me that was all you had to say.
No.
Okay. What do you got, Tony?
But their freedom of
JB
religion
or whatever
is to not have freedom for any other religion.
Oh, that's every religion. The Christians do that too. And don't tell me, everybody's, Obama's Muslim. That's why he's not doing anything.
What a show. The Inquisition.
Well, everybody thinks their religion is the religion.
And then, every Christian president we've had, we've gone to war with other countries. Hitler, he was a Christian, and we went to war with him. So Obama being a Muslim, going to war with Muslims doesn't affect me any. It's no different.
When JB was talking, and we were talking about, how history and all of that repeats itself and all of that, and I was getting ready to say, I mean, what they're doing now makes what Hitler did look like nothing.
Right.
The
numbers, the sheer numbers.
Right, yes. Okay, yes, it was ridiculous what Hitler did. But like you said, yes, when you look at the numbers, it's nothing compared to what they're doing. Nothing.
Right. Like, in a sense, these guys are better because they're not keeping anybody alive. They're not wounding anybody. And
then I think about what you said that one day when we were talking about the master race, how Hitler was trying to get all the blonde hair, blue people. But he was brown hair, brown eyes, you jackass.
Yeah, I didn't get that either. When I looked at that.
But you were fine with a felon not being a president here.
Yeah.
Catch-22, That's freaked up. You know what? I didn't get a chance. Thanks again, JB. You're always welcome. You give us a lot more to talk about, that's for sure. You give us plenty of ammunition, so I love it. Keep it coming. And anybody else who wants to chime in, the phone number is 352-410-2084. We'd love to hear from you, or you can go to facebook.com/Talk Shit TV Show, and you can leave your comments and shit there. You can go from there. You can go to our Spreaker account, which if you want to listen to us live, then that's what you'll have to do. If you want to win this contest for Rock Crusher Canyon that we got going on, it is called, once again, Can I Crush the Lies? Survivors of the Drug War. We're giving away 2 free tickets on the 15th. And I'll have more details as we get closer. But what we're going to do is basically we're going to play a certain trigger song, and then the 10th caller will call in while we're playing that song, and we'll get your information, have you give us a quick plug on the air. And
interview maybe.
Maybe
talk some shit.
Right, well, that kind of stuff. So
you're going to have to listen live, people.
Yeah,
you can find us at facebook.com/Talk Shit TV Show, and start clicking links till you find us.
They're all over it. Yeah, we put the links up all over the place.
There's one directly to listen live, and there's one that goes to our website, and then you can listen live from there.
Correct, which all brings you to the Spreaker account, so you can hear us.
Yeah, and we're posting the links right inside a post, so
yeah.
You should be able to find it. I don't know. People are having problems, but it's right there.
It's very clear. We're not making it top secret how to get to us, and 6 different ways and all that kind of shit. I'm flicking ashes on my pants right now, by the way.
All right, so here's my thing: is with the Muslims in America, I don't think we should bomb all the Muslims in America. I think they should be allowed to be Muslim. Personally, I think Christians should be allowed to be Christians, and any other religion that I don't know the name to. Rastafarians should be allowed to be Rastafarians.
Yeah, I could agree with that. But this has
I view with my view with drugs. I don't care what drug you do. I care if you rob me. So I feel the same way. I don't care what religion.
It doesn't
you,
matter what your personal
is.
opinion is. It just as long as it doesn't affect me, basically, right?
If they go and chop somebody's head off and say ISIS is number one, he murdered somebody. Go arrest him and throw him in jail. I don't think we need to militarize our police. If somebody shows up with a gun and walks into a building and shoots a bunch of people, you go and arrest him. Done. It's not a big deal. No matter if these little Muslim things pop up all over the United States, you just arrest them. I think if you commit a crime,
it ain't going to be enough.
You should be arrested.
It ain't going to be enough. And I agree to a certain point with what you're saying, but I think we need to fight fire with fire. You want to cut our people's heads off?
I'm not going to be a suicide bomber. That's on you.
Well, no, I know what you're saying.
Fire with fire.
No, I know what you're saying. I'm not going to... No, I don't want to die like that because I'm a blonde. Yes. Whatchamacallit, that's the hitman.
The mechanic.
That's the hitman's here. We got the hitman in the house. You like that head? Right? I got to shave it again. So
he calls the Ku Klux Klan and then he's bald headed. What's that about?
My biggest thing is if they come in this country, all right, and they commit those crimes, we have laws, but guess what? Do unto others as others do unto you. You come in our country and start screwing with our citizens, we're going to destroy your country. Because that's what you're trying to do to our way of life, and it goes back and forth, bro.
It's not even a country though; they're Muslim. You can't attack any country. There's Muslims in London, so you're telling me if a Muslim comes here and attacks us, we need to blow up London? No,
not so much.
No,
not exactly.
These have to be handled on a
but
case by case thing. What's going on in those countries, like Syria and Iraq? Okay, they need to be blown. They need to be blown up.
Yeah.
They've already killed, 300 million, and 300 million are on the run?
Right, but the problem is we don't know. All those Muslims that are living in this, I'm going to use an example. Let's say Dr. So-and-so, has Muslim roots, and he's bringing in all these patients and making all this money and sending it back and supporting these cocksuckers. He needs to be not killed because he's a Muslim, but go back. You want to support him? Go back. Go back to your own country. Don't send our money over there and support these bastards. Same with when the Mexicans come across the border. I don't mind that. I don't have a problem with it, but do it right. Pay your taxes. Do the right thing. Don't send the money over there. I don't know. It's weird for me because I grew up in a time where
if I went to Italy and got a job, I should be able to send my family money. Mm-hmm. Now, if they're part of a gang over here, they do some dumb shit.
Taxes. You have to pay taxes on your money. They won't. No. Yeah, you have to have papers in order to work there. Yeah.
Sure.
Same with here, but I mean, it's just a bullshit situation, and I agree with what JB is saying. It's about time that we put a stop to it.
But my point is if you want to put a stop to it, you have to, for your security, we have to get rid of your freedom, and I'm sick of that.
Well, that's what they wanted.
No, I'm talking about United States.
Oh, well, that's what
you're asking for, is to take out the Muslims.
Extremists.
But how can you tell?
The ones that are chopping people's heads off.
Exactly. So if somebody cuts somebody's head off, arrest them for murder.
Kill them.
Well, that's what happens.
Cut their head off. For murder. Don't arrest them. Put them up on a wall and execute them right then and there. No ifs, ands, or buts.
You want to give the police the power to just kill people?
No, not the police.
That's what I'm talking about.
They've already got that power. They've abused it.
Right.
You're saying if it happens here. If
it happens here, it's going to be a problem.
You're talking on a bigger scale.
Way bigger,
so
yes.
Let's look at all of our militia groups that train in the woods and they hunt rabbits and shoot targets and they do rolls on the ground and they pretend they're Rambo. Yeah. And they
Well,
read
I think of Police Academy.
they read little Klan member booklets and patriotic booklets.
Yeah.
And now we have Muslim ones. There's Muslim military training facilities in America. So what do? I was disturbed by this. I seen this. I'm like, how can this be going on? How could they be
In
training?
our own country, right? Yes.
How could? Yeah. But the fact is I'm okay if I went out to one of these places and wanted to play military or felt like I needed to go against my government, or I think I should have the freedom to do that. So I think they
To a
should have the
point.
freedom to do that.
To a point. You know, when they've taken it as far as they've taken it is I guess what's really the subject.
Okay,
You know what I
but the
mean? We
people-
should have the
Have the Muslims in America taken it that far?
some
No.
have. Some have.
No, we talk
Some
about the
haven't.
DC sniper. That's one guy and his little youth guy that was with
But
him.
look what they did.
They killed like 5-6 people.
Right, but they almost shut down half the East Coast. They almost killed commerce completely.
Okay, but you're trying to.
What about the Boston Marathon, though? What were they?
Right,
I don't know. I didn't catch that.
exactly. Go ahead.
The Boston Marathon.
That's where people run.
They were
And
Boston Marathon bombers.
I need my lighter.
Oh,
yeah, the Boston Marathon bombers.
What
They
about-
were Muslim, but they weren't legally or technically connected.
Oh,
to
you're talking
any
about
specific-
the one car bomb thing? That
No,
wasn't
no,
a bomb?
no, no.
Uh-huh. Oh no.
The Boston Marathon when they blew those bombs up.
Those
And
were
blew up the people.
pyrotechnics.
No, it was not.
No, it was not.
They were in 50-gallon drums, and the explosion shot straight up. That's why everybody said that was a government thing. They were just trying to scare us.
Oh no.
No, because those two brothers were the
Yeah.
ones who were.
They were standing
One
over
was-
the garbage can when it popped up. That's why they got hurt.
No. Runners got hurt. Innocents got hurt.
Okay, there's an explosion. But
Yes,
it was
they were made
controlled,
out of
but it was-
IEDs, improvised explosive devices.
Okay, IED is any.
Anything.
Explosive.
Yes, it doesn't have to be an unexploded.
It makes it sound like it
unexploded
takes out
ordnance.
tanks and stuff.
It can, but
I
in
bet it
this
can also
case,
pop your cigarette. An IED.
well, they make those.
My point is this explosion either was made so poorly, because let's face it, if the correct bomb was placed in a garbage can, it could have taken out the entire street.
Yeah. Well, they made them with pressure cookers. They used pressure cookers to make them. The bombs for the Boston Marathon bombing that day.
But what was it? Gas in a pressure cooker because the
No,
explosion
it wasn't gas.
so,
It was
like-
explosives, nails, and just a bunch of whatever they used for shrapnel that they put in there.
My apologize, Tony. By the way, Tony, that's I'll tell you his
mechanic.
name.
All right.
Glad to meet you. Yeah. I don't want to say his name over the air. So, I'm sorry, guys. Go ahead.
He's saying it was a big explosive.
It was.
But it killed what? 2 people that were standing by the garbage can.
Okay.
Okay, and some shrapnel hit some runners.
But
That's
it's
not an explosion.
Let me try and put it in some kind of context.
There were
that
people
might,
that lost limbs.
Yeah. What if you're at the Hernando County Fair one day, all right, and you're there with your daughter, and one of these scumbags set off a bomb on a ride that your daughter's on?
No, this was a Muslim.
Whatever.
Oh, this had nothing to do with Muslims.
I don't
Okay.
care.
They
I'm
were-
just
they
saying.
were Muslims,
Yes, they
but-
were. They were extremists. Once again, they were Muslim
Well,
extremists.
anybody that puts a bomb off is an extremist. I
But
just want to know if they're a Muslim.
my point to that is
Oh, your
it-
point. But I get that.
Yeah. If
You brought it up. so
right,
what I
no,
was
if you're
asking was-
directly involved and somebody that you love and care about got hurt over something that they really had nothing to do with, or you know what I'm saying,
I'm
just
not
because
saying
they're Americans.
Any life is not a tragic thing to lose.
But what
I'm
we're
saying it was
saying
a-
is
it was
fight
forced,
fire
wasn't it?
with fire. You want to come over to this country and mess with us? What the hell is that sticking off your finger? Oh, it was a rolled up piece of tape.
It scared me.
Dude, it looked like this big worm or something. I'm
What the
like,
hell is that? It fell off like my eye.
anyway,
Wow.
I'm just saying. I mean,
This guy
if they
one
want
of
to
those
come
bot flies
to
come out of my head. I
Oh!
didn't have it an inch. I didn't know.
Oh, I've seen some of them videos. That's disgusting. But what I'm saying is
Back to bombs.
yeah, back to bombs and that kind of shit. What I'm saying is at that point, then it directly affects you. Then you're going to see a different point. Then you're going to have hatred in your heart.
Yes. I imagine you would.
So yes, so
It would be a couple days before I cooled off. I can tell you.
Oh
that much.
yeah, oh yeah. I would never recover from something like that. Never. And I would be one of those ones that want a weapon in my hand and want to be on the front line, and I want to kill as many of those scumbags. And I'm not saying it's this Muslim, this Jew, that Hinduist, this any. I'm just in general. In general. Do unto others as others do unto you. You want to come over here and screw with this country? We will eradicate your country. And your kind.
Yeah,
Maybe not your country,
look,
but your kind.
See, that's like a racist thing.
Yes, it's very racist. But unfortunately, this is the world we live in. Do we know any black people that would think any different? You know, if we started murdering all the black people just because they're black, eventually they're going to say, "Oh, no, we're going to kill you just because you're white."
Kill Whitey.
Right, kill Whitey.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's kind of we can go back and forth
But we're
on this
not
kind of shit
being
all day.
invaded by anybody.
But we have been already. That was what JB is saying. They're here. They're on our borders. They may be right there in Mexico.
But like I said, there's only 2 people that have attacked us.
Right, but now let's say, just like JB is saying, let's say out in the middle of the desert out in Arizona, all right, and you go to a landmark and you execute somebody, and everybody knows that that's a U.S. landmark, and one of these guys cuts off somebody's head in the U.S. Is that what we got to wait for? Is that what it's going to take to eradicate this Muslim extremist regime? Now, I know now what the difference is because you explained it to me. What the difference is between a Muslim extremist and a true Muslim who believes in the core of the religion. But from what I understand, the core of the Muslim religion is to hate Americans.
No.
Then I'm mistaken.
It's just... Okay, Christians.
It says it in the Quran.
Back in the Judeo-Christian, whatever religion most people are here, okay?
Which would be Christianity, I would assume.
We're passive. If somebody does something next to you, you're like, oh, God forgives you. Come with us and then donate some money. And you'll go to heaven. Okay, now their religion...
Right. You kill 1 million people and you'll live with 30
Their religion
virgins
says somebody does something screwed up, you beat their ass. Their thing is never to turn a blind eye. Whereas our religion, we turn blind eyes to injustices. Their religion says if you turn a blind eye to injustice, you're just as guilty. So,
okay. All right.
So when they attack you, they're justified and glorified. They're doing the right thing. In fact, if they don't attack you, they're frowned upon. Which...
Okay. That makes a little more sense, but it doesn't change the fact.
And that's what I understand. I mean, I'm not a Muslim or a Christian or anything.
Same with me. I still don't truly understand it, and I doubt I ever will. And I won't bring myself to read the Quran because I really don't want to know, just in case it teaches me something that's very disturbing. I'll lose sleep over something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's weird. Every American probably should. Look it over, maybe.
I've read part of it. I didn't get a chance to really look through it to find what I wanted
What's
to
your
find.
synopsis,
but,
or what do you surmise from what you read? What's your opinion? Because here
I'm
again, I
in the
say
middle.
it all the time.
Like I'm okay with forgiving people sometimes, and I'm okay with beating somebody's ass sometimes. So really, I couldn't pick either religion right now.
Yeah,
I'm in the middle because I think some people need a second chance of forgiveness, and I think some people need their
I'm not a religious person. I was born and raised a Catholic. I grew up in a semi-Jewish household. Where my one side of the family we celebrated Judaism, but on the other side of the family we went to church every Sunday. So I've seen kind of two parts of the Christian and Judaism. You know what I mean?
Okay, but what about Muslim?
Never. I don't know anything about it.
He's the only one that's read any of the Quran.
I don't know anything about it.
And I read part of the Quran because actually someone who was Muslim sent it to us because they want to convert you to Muslim, and it was confusing really to read it because a lot of what is in it starts off just like the Bible does. It's all Old Testament,
so it has
nothing New Testament in it. Just like the Jewish religion, they go by their Torah is the Old Testament. Period.
I thought Torah and Quran were the same book.
No.
Right,
Torah is the Jewish one. The
Quran is the Islamic.
But all 3 of them have the Old Testament in it.
All 3 of them have the Old Testament, but they don't go. The the Jewish doesn't go any farther than the Old Testament period, because they don't believe that Jesus was who
Lord.
Christians say
Right.
that he was. So the New Testament and the
To
Bible
where the
means
Jews
nothing-
say Jesus Christ is Lord,
just-
our
was
Savior.
just another
Period.
prophet.
Right.
Period.
Yes.
To them.
Right.
You know, that when they eradicated him, he was not who he claimed to be.
And the
in their
Romans,
eyes.
Roman Catholics are the ones that killed Jesus Christ.
Well, I guess it depends on how you go about that.
That's what
They
I
were
was
the ones
taught in
who hung
Catholic
him.
school.
I mean, they
Yeah.
were the ones who hung him on the cross, but who
Right.
gave him to them?
Yeah.
Depending on how you read that story.
Mm-hmm. Which even when I was in Catholic school, I didn't really. I don't know, man. I'm very scientific when it comes to shit. So when it comes to religion, it's hard for me to believe this whole prophecy bit and how we evolved from or Adam and Eve. It just makes more sense that we evolved from an ape, and you know what I mean. An evolution of time. That just makes more sense to me. That's why this whole religion thing is hard for me to to swallow. I mean, a religious war. Well, what is religion? It's just your beliefs. It's what you believe. It's not what really, and nobody really knows what really happened, but it's just a belief. So, I mean, are those beliefs that strong that you're willing to kill another human being? I mean, just like the Catholic religion is a belief. Is that belief so strong that you live your life in that manner and you live by God? Who is God? What is God? Was God even ever exist, or is he something that people made up in their head because they needed something to believe in? You know what I'm saying? So I don't really, it's hard for me to understand the whole holy war and that kind of stuff. Still.
When I was reading the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
to me it was like Slave Owners for Dummies. Like if it had like a yellow cover and said that,
Yeah.
because you open it up and it's like it says words like master, my lord,
Yeah.
and you read it that way. And I'm reading it this way, I didn't mean to, but the only last time I seen the word master was in like a slave movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Roots. That's the only time I've ever seen it,
yeah.
when I watched Roots, yeah.
You know what? Amistad was good. I don't know if you've seen it. Anyway, go ahead.
Amistad?
Amistad, yeah.
Really? What is that? Is it like a slavery but different?
It's when slaves were property, and it was a ship that came over, and it was a property dispute over the ship, and consequently the slaves, and they were marked on the list as property, and it was, are they property or people?
Right. I got you. Okay.
I don't know. It was a badass movie.
Which, I mean,
But to
you
really
say that. You
to
say
understand the Bible, like you're saying, the word master, the word Lord, you have to go back to the original Latin and Greek meanings for the words.
Sure. But even like
To know
medieval times,
to know what it meant.
Wasn't
to
it
them.
written
was like
originally in
the
Latin?
Lord of the Manor.
And when
It
they
was,
when
okay.
they made it into English,
Is where it got polluted.
because a lot of the words don't mean the same thing in English,
Right.
as what
I got you.
as what their definition is in Latin or Greek. What the
So
original
But-
it
meaning
got
of the word was.
convoluted and
But then why was there like the Lord of the Manor? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like in the English lands, why were there lords over lands? That word didn't get convoluted.
well, I think that came from British occupation or Scottish or whatever the
Celtic. I don't know.
what's his name, Braveheart type thing. They were lords of their lands.
William Wallace.
Yeah.
But my point is that is a real word.
Yeah.
And that's the only time I've seen it used. Everybody says our Lord and Savior.
Right. I'm lord of my land, but what does it mean?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, I'm king of my castle,
Right.
too.
Yeah. Right. I'm actually the king of the throne in my house, which is the toilet. But
And if you go back in history, it used to mean a lot more. Just like
Yeah.
here, family.
So it went to like
used
governor.
to mean something. Now family is what? Everybody's
a-
divorced.
just a
Everybody's
word.
got 5 kids with 5 wives, and
yep.
it's not. We don't have the same family.
Oh, like a clan, family crest, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, you don't have that same family strength anymore.
Yeah, it's because
all-
we got cars now. We can take off. We don't have to stay around those assholes. You know what I mean? Like,
How true it is.
Yeah, let's just hop on the Harley and ride down the street and start another family down here.
what I'm saying.
So
Like them dudes in Utah.
Yeah, it's just,
8 wives, 90 kids.
nothing has the same meaning anymore.
Got 99 bitches, but they're all a problem. Yeah, no, I know. We could go all day about this.
Let's go.
Let's go to other news because we haven't done anything else.
I don't mean other news. I mean go all day.
No, we'll get back to it because it's
What, tomorrow?
yeah. Why not? Leave right off where I'll have JB call us up and fire us up again. I just want to cover some real quick local news. So
At least you got something.
I don't.
'Cause sometimes he does that and he doesn't even have anything.
Yeah, I do that, and I'm like, all right. So in local news,
Kills the
what do you guys got?
Yeah.
This is exactly what Joseph was talking to me about yesterday.
State Road 50, their widening project falls behind schedule.
It has.
Who would have known?
Enough said, right?
Just feed it some McDonald's.
Look at how long it took them to do 54.
Look at how long it's taken them to do 19. They're
Yeah,
still.
true enough.
I mean, the one there in Clearwater at 60.
Now, here's something
Seems
that
like they've been on. I've been here 30 years. They've been,
They've been
constructing
working
that
on
place for the whole thing, the whole time.
Here's something I want you to think about. All right, I want all of our listeners to think about. The highway department and the road construction department are broke, but yet they're redoing all these roads. They're putting sidewalks all in places where sidewalks don't need to be. Running up and down 19 where there's nothing but a giant preserve. Can I explain to you people why they're doing this? Because Six Flags is coming. Who do you think paid for it? Yes, I know everybody, no, they dispelled that myth. I know somebody who works in zoning, and I cannot mention any names, all right? They are coming. By the end of 2016, right now they're looking at up by the county line, the northern county line, Citrus Hernando County, to see if the ground can support the weight of an amusement park.
Okay, well, I know that they're looking for a place. They have been for a few years, but Swiftmud has taken them off the last two places. There was one place on Route 50. They were
50
looking
and
at,
19.
And there was another place on 52 and 19.
Where the old flea market is.
No, the north side of 52. The shopping center that's on that side.
Right,
They were
yes.
going to use.
That
They
is
were
like
gonna
an
rent-
entranceway and stuff,
yeah,
right?
They were going to rent property for parking on
Gotcha.
the flea market side, which is on the south side.
Yep. So, either way, they're going to be here.
But Swiftmud told them, because that's, wetlands back there
Yeah.
behind that shopping center, and the
Right.
same thing with on 50. There were,
That's all a preserve right there.
and that's exactly why they didn't let them there.
You know
So
what
they're
stopped
still
them?
looking.
You know what stopped them from going to 50 and 19? Two things. The turtle people and the church right there. The church refuses to sell, and the turtle people won't sign off and say, oh, we got them all.
Yeah, because there's a big thing with the gopher turtle. They're protected everywhere.
Yeah.
Except on the road.
Well,
Yeah. I can't stand them damn turtles. I'm sorry. I may be very uncompassionate when it comes to the turtle people, but they're a nuisance animal.
They
They
weren't.
really are. They were?
They weren't.
They weren't.
I don't think so.
Well, everything becomes a nuisance animal once we impede into its natural habitat.
Right. I used to
So-
enjoy them. Oh, look, here comes one coming
When I
across the
first
street.
moved down here, yeah, I had one that lived on my mother's property. I let it dig its hole. We'd throw lettuce and all sorts of stuff. But then, when it dug another hole, then it dug a hole right next to my mother's pool and went down alongside the pool, which threatened to collapse the pool. That was the end of it. That's when the garden hose came out, and I said, here, have a swim, buddy.
Yeah, because with those turtles, they've got to have an exit.
You all right, brother?
I have to go to the bathroom.
They have their entrance, and they always have an exit.
See, I just turned my own mic down when I went to go turn this down. I didn't know that. I didn't know there was an entrance and an exit to their little
They
lair.
always have an exit. So there's always more than one hole, which means there's also a tunnel.
Yeah.
And then you get more than one turtle on a piece of property, and you've got holes everywhere.
Yeah, well, that's the problem I find. You know what I mean? I just, okay, move them. But Joseph was telling me that they'll come back. They'll come back. You take them 100 miles away, they'll try to get back to that original place you.
Just like a cat.
Yeah.
You can take a cat down the road,
And it'll
find
come
its way
back. Yes, it will. It's amazing.
I don't remember who wrote that song, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Cat comes back.
Yep. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So we got about 14 minutes left of the show. In case I didn't say it, I want to thank again Marcy for chatting with us. I definitely want to thank JB for for calling in and giving his insight on this terrorist problem that we're having. I want to thank you, Tony, for being here. I have an 877 number calling, so
Don't answer it. Don't answer it.
you're talking to Talk Shit Radio. You're live on the air. What can I do for you? Hello? Hello? Yeah, that's what I thought. I bet you they're going, oh shit, we're live. Huh, let me hang up. I love it. All right, so we just had a phone call from an 8, and I'm going to even give out the number so everybody can call up and say, what do you want Talk Shit Radio for? It's 877-819-6042. I have no idea who it was. So somebody call them up, some of our listeners, and say, what were you calling the radio station for? Anyway, thank you, Tony, for being here. Joseph stepped out of the studio. He had to use the little boy's room, but I want to thank him. Tony, you got anybody you want to thank for listening or anything like that? Got about 10 minutes left.
Yeah, anybody that's on my Facebook page that's listening.
Cool. Yeah, I want to thank you, everybody that's been sharing, because I know a lot of your friends have been sharing. I've been watching the numbers. Yeah, thank you very much for that. Awesome. And like I said, anybody who wants to call in, your friends too, they got something they want to say. 352-410-2084. Give us a call up between 7 and 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. We'll get you on the air. Even if you don't want to be on the air, you just let us know, and then we'll talk about what you want us to talk about. That's no problem.
And I suck with numbers, so eventually I'll get the number down to where I know it.
Yeah. If we have to, we'll tape it.
Everything's on cell phones now these days. So,
I know. Yeah.
I can't even remember my own phone number.
The only reason I remember it is because we give it out like 3 or 4 times a day. Otherwise, I'd forget it. Jeff Berkowitz.
Yeah, once it's wrote down in front of me, I'll see it, and I'll just I'll just say it.
JB posted on Talk Shit the Quran. Oh, here we go. Let's see. It says, and I'm going to read this quote real quick. It says, the Quran, and killing them whenever you find them, and turn them out from where they have turned you out, and al-fitnan, disbelief. Okay, so end in disbelief, and worse than killing. But if they desist, then Allah is forgiving and merciful. Wow, this is deep, dude. So if anybody wants to know about this, JB has provided us with a copy of some, I guess you can call them proverbs from the Quran, or quotes. I'm just going to call them quotes.
Yeah, just say quotes, because I don't remember what they're called.
Yeah. They are on the Talk Shit page, which is facebook.com/Talk Shit TV show. And if you scroll down on the left-hand side, you'll see posts to page. Yeah, it has it, and he puts, Lou, you get it, Muslims hate infidels. You're absolutely right. I understand completely. Yeah, exactly. Right. He said, what if your leg was blown off? Talking to Joseph, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I understand completely. It's just, somebody's got to be controversial.
I don't see it yet. Oh, there it is. Right there.
You see it down there?
Got it.
Yep. You scroll about halfway down the page, and you'll see what he put, which I'm actually going to copy and paste, so it's up on the page completely. And JB, I'll get you on here so you can post as the page. We'll do that a little later once I get off the air. I'll get a hold of you. This way, it doesn't go off to the side there. It goes up where everybody can see it, because some of the things you post, buddy, I love. So I just posted the whole Quran thing up there on...
He's got quite a bit of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's a big section. And it's right under the main post that's pinned to the top. So we'll go from there.
Yeah, and it's set up the same way as the Bible as far as,
verse and
whatever. But I don't remember what they call it.
Right, yep. Yeah, I don't know if it's, verses or sections or all that kind of good stuff. So,
but then it's some of it's taken out of context too, because it's it's a quote from this section and that section. But there are other things in there that show that they should be peaceful. But at the end, it's like, if you're not agreeing in us, then we have the right to kill you.
Yep.
Is pretty much how it read to me.
Pretty much, yeah. That's what it looks like, yeah. So I got a few little headlines that I want to go over because we've been talking about it. Islamic State releases video requesting prisoner swap with the Syrian government. Oh, sorry, Joseph. Yep.
Okay.
All right. And then you got Palestinian supporters for Hamas soars after Israel war as faith loses backing. Then in the Ukraine, you got Russia and NATO trade barbs as rebels gain ground in the UK. Look, things are just getting worse and worse and worse. A video reportedly shows Islamic State beheading of American journalist Steve Sotloff. Is that how you pronounce that? Sotloff?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Defense and security, we've got the uncertain future of amphibious warfare, which I want to get more into that tomorrow. The first U.S. airstrikes on Somalia in months have killed al-Shabaab's leader. Oh, nice. A massive oil spill is threatening Mexico's third largest city's water supply. That's in the Americas, and it just keeps going on and explaining how screwed up the country and the world is getting. And Joseph, we got a few minutes left. You got anybody you want to give a shout out to, say hello to, anything like that? Thank anybody?
No.
Alrighty then. I was hoping you helped me out with that one.
I'm
Make it
sorry.
up if you want.
I don't have like a shout out to anybody.
Okay. Well.
I didn't think about it. I never planned on shouting out to people. And thank. Who am I going to thank?
On MSNBC.
Life sucks. Man.
Yes, it does. On MSNBC,
You're
real
just
quick.
an unthankful, ungrateful.
Yeah, you can call me pessimistic,
There
you
you go.
bastard. Like, seriously. I'm all giddy and smiling.
I found all this stuff myself. I'm not thankful to anyone.
Right?
Praise somebody.
Praise whoever.
You praise whoever helped you out that you're thankful for. You know what I mean?
I was just thanking our fans for listening. That was all I was saying.
Oh, I thought you were like shout out to somebody.
No, I was just shout out to any of our fans. Thank
you,
anybody.
fans. Thanks for listening.
I didn't have the crickets loaded because that would have been the perfect opportunity to hit the crickets right there after he went, thank you, fans, with that voice. Say it again.
Thank you, fans.
He goes from, thank you, fans. Oh, man, we are definitely a bunch of hobos.
Speaking
Speaking of hobos,
never mind. I'll leave them alone.
what'd the hobos do?
How long did we have that interruption for earlier? Was it a half an hour we were dead?
No. The broadcast went for 20 minutes. We had a quick glitch, and then it came back up.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it.
I was just wondering if we were supposed to keep the show going for like another half an hour.
No. Our time slot's only till 10. We can't go any past 10 because then we're...
Right, but if we had, let's say, a 20-minute show and then it cut out completely, then we would need 2 hours and 40 minutes to fill it, is what I was getting at.
Yeah,
like,
I know what you're saying. In reality, the timer says 26 minutes, but we lost... we lost the feed after 26 minutes. We actually only lost a few seconds because I was watching it when the feed went down. Because if you have ever noticed, I have the on-air the on-air light, and that went down, and I instantly hit the back on-air button. So we only lost a few seconds of us talking. So it really wasn't a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if we.
But I was worried about that too when I saw it. That's why I got confused. I'm like, oh, well, we got this amount. You guys are like, huh? Better look again. I don't know what clock you're looking at. But yeah, we physically have 4 minutes left in reality. So,
well,
other than that, I mean, I like the way today went.
Let's make us up some letters. I mean, they got ISIS and ISIL and
I think we should be
whatever. So
TSRN.
Okay, we are TSRN.
It's
we
not what
are
you
that
meant.
already. Yeah.
Yeah.
I meant us.
That's Talk Shit Radio Network.
Yeah,
it's our call sign.
But what are we?
Right.
Oh, you mean white people?
No,
not exactly.
No, I mean I was thinking, well, now what can I make out of hobo? But the words didn't fit together.
Right. Yeah.
So, we could be BTTS,
which means
bastards that talk shit.
BTTS, bastards that talk shit.
Okay.
I see what you're saying. They're ISIS, we're BTTS. nanny, nanny, poo, poo.
And then you got then you have the TRN.
TSRN. Yeah.
TSRN.
Right. We're going to put all
Because
of this
we're
up, guys.
BTTS on
TSRN.
TSRN.
See, we could really screw some people up because we could do that ASAP and BTTS on TSRN.
There you go.
If you'd like to actually find us, you can go to facebook.com/Talk Shit TV Show. You can also call it at 352-410-2084.
Now, you see how easy that gets confusing? Oh, shit.
It's getting warm in here now, I think.
It is, right? It's awful hot in here.
So, what is 6.9? It's a really great thing ruined by a period. It's awesome.
I didn't know what you were getting at first. I was gonna say the number just before 7. Got any more?
No, I'm reading them as I go, you know.
Bring out another one.
But a lot of them are garbage.
So what? Do another one.
I hope this doesn't suck. Because some of them suck.
Who cares?
This is okay. 2 guys are sitting in a bar stool, on a bar stool. Are they sitting on the same one?
I was gonna say, how are they sitting in a bar stool? But
2
go
guys
ahead.
are sitting on a bar stool.
On the same one?
One starts to insult the other one. He screams, "I slept with your mother." The bar gets quiet as everyone listens to what the other man will do. The first again yells, "I slept with your mother." The other man says, "Go home, Dad. You're drunk."
Well, with that said, that didn't suck. We are out of here for
Who
a
knows,
day.
though, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it was a hit and miss.
Everybody, I want
it's
to thank
over
everybody
again.
for listening. Yes, it is. And let's talk shit. Signing off. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Well, you'll hear us.
Yeah.